No one told you that was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, bro. It's your way. It's like you're stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, but even your year, but I'll be there for you. Stop, but be there for you. I'll be
Hey, Rick. Rich?
still invested in work together.
All right. And welcome to episode 12 of the MURF and EDUBBS show. What do you think of that song? That's our opening song this week, E. What do you think about that? I was scrolling to your Facebook account the other day, and I saw something that was very disturbing to me.
Yeah, I was calling your name during the song. It's like, what is that song? It sounds familiar.
Yeah, man, it's the Friends theme. Listen, I was on your Facebook account the other day, and I was thinking, you have some friends that know nothing about TV shows.
Okay, now Rich,
you go on.
Let me explain. Let me explain. Okay, so I found this meme. It was funny. It was a guy. What was the guy? Had like a stoic look on his face, right? No emotion at all. And it says, what did it say? I just watched a Friends episode. It wasn't funny, Rich. Friends. It wasn't funny. It did nothing for me.
Before I go into this about how I think it's preposterous that you don't like Friends.
Okay.
Have you ever seen the show?
I saw one episode, Rich. What are we talking? Like what? 30 years ago, maybe? Is it 25 something like that years ago? You know, I hated it. I hated it.
I gotta call you out on this because I think personally that you're in a very small percentage of the people that dislike that show.
You know, Rich, I think the numbers will be higher. I think they're higher than you think.
And now, are you talking about people that you talk to, or are you talking about people that like normal people that watch normal shows? All right, let's think about Friends and why I think it's a great show.
Okay.
Listen, I know you're a big sports fan, and I'm going to ask you a question. What shows do you watch? You're going to tell me sports. Give me a couple of shows that you watch that you say that are interesting, that maybe I could jump onto.
Okay, well, can I talk about Friends first, though? And then I could jump on shows, right? Okay, so it's overrated, exaggerated, plain shit. It's not funny. They have the laugh track going off any time. I think I was laughing more at the laugh track than I was with the shit going on in the show. I mean, and then the dumb friendisms everyone walks around with, the titles of the show, the one with. Every show, the one with. It's like, it's just a trendy thing, Rich. Everybody had to do it back then, but no, not me. Oh, and get a load of this. How did they afford the apartments with such shitty jobs they had? Tell me that. That nice apartment they have, New York City, nonetheless.
It's a sitcom. It's a funny sitcom. It's out there to make us laugh. It's out there.
Rich, come on. Tell the truth. I got 2 words for you while you watched Friends.
Why?
Jennifer Aniston.
All right, listen. Now, Jennifer Aniston is probably one of the. I think I see my wife up here listening. But anyway, Jennifer Aniston is probably one of the hottest women I've ever seen in my life. And yes, it absolutely did help that she was on the show.
Yeah.
You got Lisa Kudrow, you got Matthew Perry, you got.
Please.
Come on, bro.
Oh, please. The stereotypical Lisa Kudrow, the stereotypical dumb blonde. I mean, how many shows do we see like that, Rich? Right?
You know what? But what you forget, Eric, is like we're not talking about this show Friends as a modern day show. This show came out in the 90s. Now
it did. So did Seinfeld. Seinfeld came out in the 90s too.
No, tell me you don't like Seinfeld.
I love Seinfeld. Seinfeld was a great show. Seinfeld made me laugh.
Now, all right, so Seinfeld was pretty much about, what happened in their daily lives. Like, they joked around about stuff like weird situations. And I think that not along the same lines, but I think Friends pretty much did the same thing. Friends is like, it's silly humor on a whatever night it was, a Thursday night.
You know what? It just didn't do it. It was the stupidest show, Rich. And then the stupid song, I'll be there for you. Who the hell cares? Were they there for each other? I mean, the stuff you read about this 25th anniversary, were they there for each other or stabbing each other in the back?
Yeah, but you know what though? They were, the name of the show was Friends. When you think about it, like it was just one of those shows that when there was Thanksgiving episodes, it was Christmas episodes. Listen to this: Michael Rappaport, Tom Selleck, Giovanni Ribisi. Dude, ER was huge at that time.
Yep.
George Clooney and Noah Wiley making a cameo on that show. That show is huge for the simple reason that it was a silly show. I mean, come on, bro. Monica and Chandler trying to hide that their relationship in front of all their friends. Now, I don't know. Listen, I don't know.
Am I supposed to laugh at that?
I grew up.
Is that funny?
When I grew up, I see Josh just chimed in. Yes, he was. Brad Pitt was in the show as well. A whole laundry list of celebrities. But that show.
Who's Josh? I don't know Josh.
That show is about a bunch of friends. And they pretty much they made fun of each other. They made fun of each other's lives. They made each other's mundane lives not mundane. And it made people, when they came home from their city job or from their office job or from whatever their job, they came home and they sat down and what? That time back then is when primetime television was really primetime television. Now,
I don't think anybody cares about it anymore, though, Rich, right?
No, nobody cares, man. Now, wait, before we get off on a tangent about primetime television, all my people out there listen about Friends. Smelly Cat, come on, forgetting each other's birthdays, fighting over the same girl, Joey and Chandler. Come on, hey, listen.
Dumb.
Eric, shh, quiet. Listen, how you doing? Come on, man. That's Joey, man. Come on.
The stereotypical Italian guy. Every show has one, Rich.
Joey and Chandler sitting on two black leather chairs watching TV and just not getting up for nothing and just joking on each other all day. Now, whatever. Like I said, that may not be your shtick, but I can tell you from the ratings back then, there was a lot of people's shtick, and that's why I really think you're in a very small minority. Now you say Seinfeld. Seinfeld is like you could probably go into a hotel in, like, say, Thailand and turn on the TV, and there will probably be Jerry Seinfeld sitting there in Thai.
But do you know what? The people won't understand it in Thailand.
Friends, guys and girls talking Thai also. That's another show that people just enjoy. People just equate with a time in their life. It brings back memories. It was a funny show, dude. It was a funny show. I really think you're in a small minority, and I'm going to put a poll up on our Instagram account after this and see who likes Friends and who doesn't. I'll bet you $20 that people that are listening to this show are in a large majority like the show, and you're in a very small majority.
And if you like Friends, Murph will give you a Benjamin out of his pocket, right?
Yeah, a Benjamin out of my pocket. Yeah, exactly.
So let me talk to you about this other show, The Office, right? Do you watch that too, I gather?
Yes, I do. Come on.
Okay.
I watch The Office as well.
I don't. And you want to know why, Rich? You want to know why? I worked in an office for 30 years. I see live every day. I've witnessed it, Rich. I walked into the kitchen and saw a guy eating cake with no plate. He's eating off a cake. I heard the rumors about the girl that took a shit on the floor in the woman's room. I've seen the relations that go on after the Christmas party. I've seen it, Rich. I don't need to watch a show like that. I heard a girl screaming one day. I thought she had a heart attack. No, you know what happened? She found the baby in the king cake. That's the stuff I see every day, Rich. It's unrehearsed. You can't make this shit up. I'm telling you. I've seen two people kissing on the loading dock and losing their jobs many years ago. It happens. I mean, this is live TV that I see every single day.
Okay. All right, hold on a second. Now let's entertain the audience for a second. Now, what does EDUBBS find funny?
Okay, so what do I find funny? I love cartoons. South Park, Beavis and Butthead, all those cartoons that were on Fox over the years. I mean, start off with The Simpsons. The Simpsons kind of lost its luster after a while, but you give me an episode of South Park and I'll crack up. You know, there was the episode where the guy, he loved marijuana, right? Stan, his name was, right? One of the kids' fathers. He loved marijuana so much that he put his balls in the microwave so he can get cancer so he can smoke marijuana. I mean, this shit is funny. I mean, it's...
You know what, you bring up a great point about South Park, and I would probably say Family Guy and, Simpsons for that matter. That's funny humor. I mean, and it's smart funny humor. Like, it sounds like potty humor. It sounds like dick jokes and shit jokes, but a lot goes into a lot of those jokes, man. And it's pretty damn, all those political jokes, it's pretty fucking funny, man.
And it all goes back to like the 2016 elections. They were trashing Trump and Hillary and stuff. It was pretty funny. They were calling Trump a turd or something. I forget what they, but Mr. Garrison was Trump. It was hilarious, Rich. That stuff is funny. Beavis and Butthead, they came back with new episodes. I go to the gym. I'm on the treadmill. 4 miles on the treadmill can be a long time, but when you're watching Beavis and Butthead or these idiotic cartoons, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, I guess. Well, listen, you know what, though? Back to Friends for a second before we wrap the Friends segment up.
Yeah.
Friends and South Park and all that stuff, that's completely different humor.
Of course it
I think
is.
that for my dollar, going back to primetime TV, back in the 90s and back in the 80s, it's like that's what we did. We went home, we watched primetime television. Silly humor, dude. It's silly. I mean, look, it's not you're going a little overboard by saying it's terrible, it's hard. It's just silly. It's like,
but Rich, I want something to make me laugh, though. I'm not going to sit there like my wife.
And also, okay. I'm gonna make one point too. I could guarantee that there's nobody in your office as funny as Michael. I don't even know I bet you don't even know who Michael is.
I don't even know who Michael is.
Exactly. There's nobody in your office as funny as any one of those guys.
No, but you know what, though? I live the office, Rich. I see it every day. And I guarantee you, if I ask people that work in an office, they're going to say, I don't watch The Office because I live it every day, because that's what corporate America is. It's stupidity for 10 hours a day. It's people by the water cooler. It's going on a Zoom call and seeing somebody on camera that doesn't know they're on camera. They're picking their nose and eat it. That's what we live every day, Rich. We don't need to watch a TV show.
But that's not fun. That's not funny.
What? See the guy picking his nose on a Zoom call?
You know what? I am. Listen, I'm not even going to agree to disagree with you. I'm just going to straight out disagree with you. And one of the best looking women that ever walked onto a television studio is in that show, in Jennifer Aniston.
Well, you know what?
I'll stand by for the rest of my life that Friends is a top 10 show of all time.
Understood about Jennifer Aniston. Did you ever see Office Space, the movie? She was the waitress at Chachi's. It was kind of like a TGI Fridays thing. I mean, she was in that movie too. She did a great job. I love Jennifer Aniston. But you know what?
That's another thing. Now, you work in an office. Have you seen Office Space?
Oh my God. Office Space was like, when it first came out, I was just started my new job. It was like 20 years ago and stuff. And yeah, it was hilarious. And I've seen it so many times after. I think they have to make a remake now because we don't have fax machines anymore. But Office Space was great.
All right, but you didn't like that scene when they're playing that Ghetto Boys song in the background and they're smashing it in the copy machine? Come on.
Yeah.
That's hysterical. Yeah.
And you know what, Rich? There was a guy in my office who broke the copy machine one day because he got angry. So look at that, huh? But, all kidding aside, Milton not getting that piece of cake, and, everyone jokes when we have a party and they're passing around the cake and there's no cake left. That stuff's great. I loved Office Space. That was one of the best movies I've ever seen. But, I think, to be honest with you, Rich, to put so much effort into a sitcom with being busy, I know it's so much different now with on-demand and stuff like that. Maybe it would be a different song and dance nowadays, but, back then, it was the, early 90s, whatever, single guy walking around, there were other stuff to do besides to watch Friends every night, or Thursday night, whatever it was on.
I just listened to Josh. Josh just typed Bears, Beats, and Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, you want to talk about superheroes too and those type of movies?
And Rob Scuderi is here. Rob Scuderi. I know you're not going to call in, brother, but listen up. I just saw your son today, Michael. We were just talking about baseball and everything. So what's going on, Rob? I know you're not going to jump on, but I'll talk to you tomorrow. So anyway,
we're getting a nice audience out there, Rich, right?
So we do actually. We got a couple people listening now. So how about we just agree that Friends is one of the best shows ever, and you're wrong. So anyway.
Well, let's move on. So, Rich, I was driving home today and I got like a flashback of like the 90s, early 2000s, whatever. I'm driving on 52. I had to go to the vet to get my cat her food because there's a food shortage because, of course, this stupid supply chain issue. It affects cat food now. So I had to go all the way out to the vet. So I got the Taconic, go on Lime Kiln Road, and I'm coming on 52 and I see all these cones and orange. It was like playing those video games. Remember that card game, Rich, where you're driving through the city to see all these things, you just start hitting everything? I felt like that. I was going to start hitting everything. It's like there's cars coming at me. What the hell's going on 52?
What's going on there is, well, look, I drive my son to school every morning, and it's kind of like playing like that game. It's they're making a roundabout over there, and it's all has to do with the Amazon plant going over there, and obviously everybody in Fishkill, was all worried, not worried, wanted that big dome to come with the baseball, and that never came to fruition. So Amazon kind of like took up a big chunk there. And listen, at the end of the day, when all that construction is done, there's going to be a roundabout there. They put one up on 376. It's just going to be a little bit easier for people to get around, I guess. I don't know. Right now, people's days are a little bit a little bit fucked up because they got to get somewhere. But I don't know. It's going to be done. So as a matter of fact, Eric, they did it pretty quick actually. I mean, the last couple of months it's been a little screwed up, but they've made a lot of progress in the last couple of weeks. I think it's going to be done pretty soon.
So I guess they want to take away that traffic light. So when I order from Amazon, it says it's going to be here between 5 and 9. It will be here between 5 and 9 now because that traffic light takes forever. So I guess Jeff Bezos is building this circle, right? Or roundabout, whatever it is. Yeah.
Jeff Bezos could care less about us. I wrote Jeff Bezos an email probably about, I don't know, maybe a year ago when they were doing all the construction and the baseball team was over there playing the games at John Jay. The construction was going on, the smoke, the machines. And, while baseball games are trying to, I wrote Jeff Bezos, a little email and saying, maybe you could throw us about $100,000, $200,000 to help us out with our baseball fields. But to no avail, he never got back to me. But listen, Jeff Bezos, who am I? He's not going to get back to me. But I sent him about 15 emails. I sent him about 15 emails. He probably just deleted them all and said, "Who the fuck is this crazy maniac?" But listen,
he was building spaceships. Bezos was building spaceships that looked like what Brett Favre would send in a text to a girl. No Brett Favre tonight, though, Rich. Right? I think we're done with Favre.
No, we're done with Brett Favre. Fuck Brett Favre. We can't.
No, I'm in a pretty good mood. I'm in a pretty good mood today, Rich. Even though what happened the past couple of nights in Houston and stuff, but yeah, did you see the games this week?
I did, but you know what, Dumps, Eric? Before I get to that, I just want to touch on something real quick. I don't know if anybody out there has gotten a chance to see this. I like to watch these videos and stuff, about the inspirational videos. I'm a big fan of Mike Tyson and and guys like that. Deion Sanders put out a video this week. I don't know if anybody out there has seen it, about him being brutally honest with his team after a loss. As you know who Deion Sanders is, he's probably, if not the best cornerback to ever play. Been in the league for a long time. Eric, have you seen it? Did you watch this video at all?
No, I have not. I was watching Friends.
You dick. Good for you. Well, at least you're watching something. Well, anyway. This video caught my attention is because he's pretty much being brutally honest with his players in there, and he's talking about discipline, and he's talking about players really caring, and he's talking about being able to be the best person you could be. He's in the locker room with all his players, basically saying that none of you guys are going to be professional athletes. So what you're doing right here is sitting around. You're not doing your schoolwork. I know you're making excuses. He's basically saying that the kids are our day. They can't take the fact of a coach telling them that they suck. Now, he's saying that, he comes from the old school. He's like, where these coaches like really ridiculed them and they yelled and they screamed at them and they had to sit there and take it. And he's saying, you guys wouldn't last 2 minutes because there'd be a video of me saying something to you. There'd be a video of me doing something over here. If I even looked at the guys the wrong way and I said, listen, you're not gonna be a professional football player. You better take school seriously. I'll be written up in 2 seconds. That's the day and age that we live in, because we live in a society where these kids aren't told that. They're always told that they're great. And they're always told that they, that they do whatever they want, which they can, can do whatever they want. But at some point in time, there's a bunch of kids in his locker room that you could tell it's every single one of them. He says, I got fathers in here. He coaches for, Jackson State.
So that's a school in the Black Conference, right? With Grambling and Norfolk State and those schools, Rich? Is that where that division is?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I had a question. Do they give out scholarships, Rich, to those football players? That's like Division III, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about the scholarship aspect of it, but I know they pay Deion Sanders $300,000 to coach the football team.
Well, he's loaded. I think he just wants to coach these kids. He enjoys it.
But listen, I'll tell you, it's what he's doing over there is really good, because listen, he as you can tell, like as everybody can tell, we've been talking about Mississippi for the last couple of weeks. That's the poorest state, and
right.
Obviously the politicians are stealing money left and right, and Deion Sanders is over here trying to run a program that really doesn't get any help. So what he did for this program, he got money from Pepsi. He got all these people all of a sudden. Now all of a sudden, Deion Sanders is a coach in the it's the HBCA, I think it's called.
Right.
But he's a coach then. He's making a lot of noise now, and he was saying in an interview the other day, there was an offensive lineman. I forgot where he was from, but they were talking about this offensive lineman. He's supposed to be the best offensive lineman in the country,
Mm-hmm.
and they lost out to him to Alabama. It was down to his small Jackson school or Alabama, and
Wow.
the kid goes Alabama, but the point he's making is he's trying to make these schools put him on the map. He's getting donations from Pepsi. He's getting donations from from all sorts of these football equipment companies. So he's trying to put these put these schools on the map. Why not have these big players come play at these schools? And I understand.
Yeah. Also, why not have these schools play the Division Ones where they get all the money and stuff? Remember we talked about the cupcake games? I mean, these schools get like millions of dollars for playing in these games sometimes. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. But I guess what he's trying to do, that he was telling these kids that you gotta, is like you're in school, is like you are not going to be a professional football player. So you should go to school every day and take your education seriously, because you are being prepared for a career. You're not being prepared for a job. You're being prepared for a career. So the fact that you're not going to play football on a professional level, you better get your ass going and do good in school, because they're preparing you for a career. So when you graduate all of a sudden on that draft day and nobody drafts you and nobody's looking your way, and you go back to that, that small apartment or whatever, and it's like, you thought you were going to be this professional football player, because you had all the attitude, but you didn't have the determination. He said that what he had above everybody else is nobody was taking that position from me. He looked at those kids in there and says, you don't give a shit if anybody takes that position. You just want to say that you're on a football team. You just want to say you're the best, but you're not willing to put the work in. So what he's making a big statement about the youth, that basically, they can't be talked to in a certain way, or, or they're going to go tell somebody, or they're just kind of like pussies. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but that's what he's saying. And like I said, more along the lines also what Mike Tyson said a couple of weeks ago about his daughter playing tennis and why she'll never be as great as him. Because he said his daughter's never going to be as great as him. Yeah, she's a great tennis player, but I pick my daughter up every day in a Bentley, and she goes swimming in an Olympic-sized pool every day. If she has a bad day at tennis practice, she's got an Olympics pool in a Bentley. If I had a bad day in a boxing ring when I was a kid, he's like, I didn't eat. It's like I got my ass kicked. It's like I had to learn how to struggle. And he's saying he's saying that people need to know how to struggle to be great. I mean, I don't know if that's true and everything, but there's a lot to be said about that, though. And I think that's what Deion Sanders is saying. When you got to kind of struggle, you got to be the best. You got to eat.
So I wonder, what's this? His second year coaching, Rich, in this on the team, or third year or something? I don't know.
I think he's going on. It's his third year.
Okay, so I'm wondering what the graduation rate will be now with these kids. Will they go on to get their bachelor's degree? I know a lot of these kids, they just drop out and stuff like that. But it seems like he's a good role model to have as a coach, and to get these kids on the right path.
He's a good, it's funny, like he's a good role model, but they asked him a question. I was watching an interview on 60 Minutes. They asked him a question. They said, what's going to happen if like one of these big schools come calling, they offer you a couple $1 million, like Alabama? He goes, I will leave in a heartbeat. It's like, I will not even think twice. I will do it. It's like, I'm doing what I'm doing for this program, but don't let me fool you. It's like, if Alabama, one of these big schools offer me a position, he goes, I'll take it in a second. I'm never going to the NFL. He said, if I was a coach in the NFL, I'd be led away in handcuffs in 2 weeks. That's what he said. So I'm never going to be a coach in the NFL. He says, but if one of these big schools come calling, he's like, listen, I'll end up my contract and I'll make sure these kids get on the right direction. But hasta la vista, man. I'm going to Oregon or Alabama or Nebraska. So.
Wow, I wonder. Yeah, he might be going to Alabama after that loss, right, against the Tennessee, right? Though Alabama might be calling him sooner than later, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so, well, that sounds good for him, though. I could see him coaching in the NFL one day and stuff,
Yeah, Eric. Honestly, Eric, you're a big sports fan. With the youth sports and everything like that. Just watch. And there's an interview with him on 60 Minutes also that I caught that was actually very good. He's a different. He's taking what he learned throughout the years and he's trying to pass it on. He's just talking about people being broke, because they don't have discipline, and he just made a lot of really good points about people trying to stay disciplined in what they do. And it doesn't just have to be sports. It has to be just life. You have to be disciplined in life. If you have a goal, you got to kind of, you have to be disciplined, if you want to reach it. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't have that.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. 110%. Wow. So what channel is I'm sorry, what streaming service was this on, Rich? I said channel. I'm going back to the 90s now.
It's on YouTube. Just you know what? It's just type in Deion Sanders is brutally honest with his team.
And I see somebody typed in Dion and Eddie Robinson. Eddie Robinson Sr. was like one of the best coaches at Grambling. And then you know who took over for him? It was Doug Williams. Remember the Buccaneers quarterback took over at Grambling and stuff. And you know actually came back to Grambling. He left and went back to Grambling, but I think he's working the NFL night now. But yeah, they used to have this game called the Whitney M. Young Classic at Yankee Stadium, and Grambling would play these schools every year, once a year. And then they had it at Giant Stadium, and it kind of like phased away. I think it's played in the South now, but definitely a bunch of good schools. And I do remember Grambling had this Jewish guy as their kicker, so pretty funny. The guy weighed like 300 pounds and stuff, but pretty funny. You know, they showed those games back then. Now you can get more with the ESPN streaming service. I don't know if you have the streaming service for ESPN, Rich, but you can get like every college football game imaginable. It's crazy.
Yeah, I do. It's interesting. Yeah, you could stream anything these days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and basketball too. College basketball starts in a couple of weeks, and I can't wait to watch the culinary against the Catherine Gibbs typing school. So that'll be definitely a game to watch on my docket this fall, right? But you know, though, right now, Rich, I'm watching the Yankees. Not tonight. I mean, I was on Instagram today, and somebody's driving a car, all pumped up, talking about Garrett Cole, saying, "Come on, Cole, you got to get some balls. You got to win tonight." And I'm thinking, is today Saturday? I mean, I'm at the office. I had to look at my watch for a second, Rich. I thought it was Saturday for a second. I was like, this guy's telling me there's a game tonight? I was like,
Eric, you got to realize, Eric, that I'm hopped up on all sorts of medication. I'm all stuffed up in my head. I'm waking up early. I'm driving my kid to school. I didn't have any coffee. You know what? So what? Maybe I thought it was Saturday. All right, whatever.
Rich, we're sports reporters, damn it. We got to get it right.
I know. I also tagged the wrong Garrett Cole in my Instagram post. That's
exactly. Yeah.
There's some guy right now in like West Virginia saying, "What do you mean I got to get balls? I'm pitching against the. I'm pitching tomorrow night." But anyway, I re-put it on Instagram and I tagged the right Garrett Cole in. But you know, like I said, you're going to go into the Yankees. That's your team. But I just said the reason I put that Instagram out there. And again, you know me, Eric. I'm not hating on the Yankees. He has to become that guy tomorrow night, man.
And you know, he's done it. He's done it twice already. He's done it twice in a row, right?
Surprised me. He has. He
did. You know what? He went out there and he was gutsy, Rich. And not only that, did you know what he did in Game 5, Rich? Did you know what he did in the last game? He was in the bullpen. He was in the bullpen in the ninth inning, Rich.
You know what? I was going to text you on that because I read that earlier in the afternoon. You know what? I gained a little respect for the ballless pitcher there because you know what though? He didn't have to say that. You know, he's basically saying like, listen, if you need me, go to me. You know what I mean? So you know what?
No, he didn't say you need me. He says, give me the fucking ball. He said basically. Right. You know, he was ready to go.
But you know what, though, at the end, and that's got to be nice for you to hear, but your ace has to say that in the playoffs. Has to.
He does. And you know what? I appreciate him for saying that. He did. He did have to say that, you know? But you know what, though? He went out 2 ballsy victories against the Guardians, and you know what? He's got some rest now. He comes in tomorrow. He's got to save the season. This is like what you pay. This is what you pay a guy $60 million or whatever the hell they're paying him. You gotta save the season. You can't go down 0-3 to the Astros. I mean, the Astros are a pain in. They're a thorn in our side. But I'll talk about that in a while. But Rich, I didn't speak to you about one thing, and I just want to hear your reaction. Josh Naylor doing the baby thing, going around the bases. What do you think about that?
Listen, he could either he did that way too prematurely. I don't know what the hell that guy's doing. He's rocking it. You're losing, bro. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
if that was a walk-off home run, if you walked that game off and you called and you looked at him and you know, as you my daddy is whatever. No. I think he looked like an idiot. I really did. I don't think he looked good. That didn't make him look good at all. Come on.
It didn't make the team look good either. I mean, after that, they went 1 for 18 the rest of that game, basically, with 1 walk. I mean, the Yankees really shut them down after that. And then you gotta love what Gleyber Torres did. What do you think about that at the end of the Game 5? When he did the rocking the baby and looked right in the dugout. You gotta love that.
Yeah. Yo, Gleyber Torres, real quick though. Yo, he made a game saving. Well, whatever, not game saving.
Did you see that double play yesterday?
Dude. And you know what though, and that's gotta hurt for Altuve, dude. Altuve has not gotten a goddamn hit in this series, man. And he hit that ball so hard that would have been 3 RBIs.
What did they say? 114? Was it 110 miles an hour? 114 miles an hour, Rich? Something like that? Yeah. Crazy.
And another shining point on that play is the kid you got a shortstop there, dude.
Plaza.
He looks ready. He looks ready.
Yeah, and in a playoff game nonetheless, right? You put him in the playoff game, and that's what he does. The kid seasoned. He played for the Renegades last year. The kid's well seasoned, but they also have this guy Volpe. I don't know what the Yankees are going to do. They have a lot of shortstops in their organization, but you know what? Maybe one of these guys can play third base because IKF. I'm done with him. I mean,
he's a Gold Glove at third base.
He did, but he played for us 160.
I can't stand him. He looks lost out there. I'm not a big guy. I don't know what the hell's going on with him. But
doesn't he look?
He wanted a Gold Glove.
Yeah, he looks lost at the plate. He's got a good stick at the plate, but he looks lost in the field. Donaldson looks lost. I mean, he got that double last night and a big walk, but I don't know what he's swinging at. And you know what, Matt Carpenter. Matt Carpenter looks like you and I if we went up against Nolan Ryan or something like that. We haven't swung a bat in years. He looks awful. And the Yankees wanted to reinstate this guy. They could have played him in the 3 games in Texas, the 4 games in Texas. Why didn't they just roll him out in Texas that week? I mean, you can call guys up. You don't have a risk. There was no roster limitation. Why just not call him up, let him get a couple of bats? You can't take a guy who's been out 3 months and put him in a playoff game with the quality of pitching out there. It's crazy.
What are the Yankees doing clapping and cheering for Donaldson when he walked last night?
Oh, right?
What is that? Is they're clapping because it's the playoffs, dude. It's not game 20 and you're in a slump.
No.
The guy sucks right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe you need his glove on the field. The guy's playing horrible baseball right now.
He's playing horrible baseball. And I think
he walks.
Well, game 1, it was like an exhibition game, Rich. It was like It was a tryout. I mean, Aaron Boone made such bad calls in game 1, and then game 2, he blames it on the roof being open. I mean, why don't you just suck it up? The team struck out 30 times already. 30 times out of 54, they struck out 55% of the time out of all their outs, Rich. It's crazy. I've never seen a team do this before. I mean, the game plan against the Astros is so shitty this year, and it's been like that over the past couple of years. I mean, they couldn't even beat them they didn't have a lead against them in the regular season. They did beat them twice because there were 2 walk-offs, but they couldn't even take the lead. They got no hit by the Astros. They got 1 hit by the Astros. They can't win in Houston for their lives. It's just crazy how they can't. It's like you got to come up with a game plan, Boone. I think Boone's gone. I think he's gone. I mean, how much more of this can we take, Rich? What do you think? Do you think he's gone or what?
Just from the outside looking in, I think he has to be gone. I don't know if he has to be gone. At this day and age, you don't know because I truly think that the guy's not managing the team. But
you think Cashman's pulling the strings, right?
I say my Rob Scuderi was about to call in, and we're talking Yankees, and he's a big Yankee fan, so maybe he had something to add. But looks like he hung up. So
okay,
back to what you were saying, Rob. You distracted me, Rob.
I do agree. Boone goes when Cashman goes. I think both of them go at the same time. I definitely agree about that.
So now that's what do you call it? That's a tricky situation there. Okay, so you're going to get rid of Cashman, all right? Now, what do you do when you get rid of Cashman?
You know what, Rich? How many years has he been with the team? We need a change. I mean, I still blame Cashman for not going after Machado or Harper. I mean, you needed the big bat. They're game changers, 2 game changers, Machado and Harper, right? You agree? I mean, Harper's gonna be with the Phillies till like we're 70 years old, Rich. Well, if we're still doing the show by the time Harper's contract goes out, we'll be stars by then. But yeah, but they needed one of these big boppers. Do you agree? They needed one of these guys.
You know what, though? Machado and Bryce Harper are right now, for the prospective teams right now, are killing it right now. And Machado's a dick. We all know that.
He just grounded out, Rich. Sorry, he just grounded out Machado. He sucks. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, I'm in a little bit of a delay here. But listen, the guy's always been up there for the MVP. He's always gonna be. Listen, he maybe kind of lost a half a step at third base there, but Baltimore Orioles, Manny Machado was, I don't know, defensively, I'm going to say something crazy, but maybe one of the best third basemen ever. When he played third base for the Orioles, dude,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the guy was incredible. The guy was incredible, and he's a little bit older now, and he's coming through in the playoffs. But you know what? Though back to the Yankees. When was that? You talking about a couple of years ago when he signed with the Padres?
Yeah, he signed with the Padres a couple of years ago, and Harper signed a couple. Harper signed in 2019 with the Phillies, right? Because he missed the World Series, right? He was in. He left Washington that year. The Nationals won the World Series. Yeah, so we're talking 2019, I guess. But it's Rich. You know why I'm in a good mood, and I could have been in a horrible mood because I've lived this 13 years now. The Yankees play great in the season, and then in October they have a meltdown. They can't swing the bats, and that's what I'm saying. You need a guy to make a difference in the lineup. I mean, look at the Phillies lineup with Schwarber and Harper. I mean, that's a lineup, right? Look at the Padres lineup with Drury, Soto, Machado. That's a lineup. Is there fear in the Yankees lineup? I don't even think there's fear in the lineup. I mean, okay, Gleyber Torres is a good hit. He's a cute hitter. He's not gonna. He'll get you to hit every once in a while. He's not gonna knock your socks off. Stanton. Giancarlo Stanton is the most feared hitter in the Yankees lineup right now, and he's been good in the playoffs throughout the years. I think you could agree on that, right?
Like, oh my God, yeah. What has he got? Was he got two now? So we got 13, 14 home runs in the postseason for the Yankees.
So he's and Judge is a good hitter too. He's slumping now, but he could always. But other than that, who scares you in this lineup, Rich? The Bronx.
Nobody. Nobody.
I mean, 162 game season against shitty pitching. Oh yeah, we're gonna hit 250 home runs. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, but come the playoffs, Rich, you don't get that type of pitching anymore. The pitching shores up in the playoffs, and it shows. That's why the Yankees hit below 200 every year. They just don't have that big bat in the lineup they need.
And you know what though, and the crazy part about it is they don't have Mr. Magic Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter was magical. They don't have a magical guy like him to go, just to get up and just do whatever he wanted to do. He'd come up with the big hit, to come up with the big steal, to come up with something. They don't listen. You want to equate Aaron Judge to him? I don't know if Aaron Judge is Derek Jeter. I mean, they don't have magical Derek Jeter. I think at this point, and you're right. They don't have the big bat. But you know what though, Giancarlo Stanton could be that big bat. But what do you think watching him play baseball? Now, you're talking about a guy who was an MVP. Mm-hmm. You're talking about a guy who's just built like a brick shithouse, right?
Yep.
And he's in great shape. There are times when he looks completely lost at the plate.
He does.
But there are times when he swings that bat, and nobody in baseball has a faster swing than that guy. Nobody has a faster swing.
He's the prototypical all for nothing guy, Rich. I mean, he's not Dave Kingman. I mean, striking out, but he'll have those. He's very streaky, Judge. Not Stanton. I mean, Judge had a great year. Judge was never in a slump this year, basically. But Stanton has those streaks. But when he hits them and stuff. And after the All-Star game, he tailed off. But then, like towards the end of September, he started up again. And watching him smack, and he did play a good outfield the other day in Houston in left field. The first one he kind of misplayed it, zoomed right over his head, but he did make that nice catch where he broke the scoreboard. You saw that, right? Where he ran into the scoreboard.
Yeah. What do you call it? What was I going to say? Yeah, he got a little lost in the outfield there. But that's the thing with him. Sometimes he just looks lost, and sometimes he looks like an MVP player, like when he was with the Marlins. He's supposed to be that guy. He's supposed to be the guy that when he gets up, everybody's supposed to say, "Holy shit! I don't know what's coming next." But listen, that double he hit the other night literally almost went through the wall. That was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, off his bat. Yeah, I think he's got like the top 10 velocity hits. I think he's like got 9 out of 10 of them or something like that, right? He just smokes the ball and stuff. But like I said, the Yankees are stuck with him for a couple more years. We don't know about Judge right now, but there's so many shortstops on the market. Watch him go out and get a shortstop, but they can't because they got these young guys coming up and stuff. But like a Trey Turner, if they could bring a Trey Turner in to play third base, maybe something. I know Turner's a free agent. I didn't see the other list of free agents and stuff like that, but they got to spend some money in the offseason. I know you got to go after Judge, and like I said, the Yankees will probably sign Judge. You think otherwise, right? With your 99 Mets jersey.
Right. Listen, for the new people out there that have seen me breaking balls with the Aaron Judge and the Mets jersey. Now, I am sort of kind of just breaking balls, but I did go off last week and explain to all you people out there why I think that there's a good chance he might be, because of the fact that business is business. And I really think that Steve Cohen will look all these guys in the face saying, don't worry about it. I'm not going to touch your guy. And like I said last week, business is business. He's the guy with the most money. He's going to walk back into that room and say, Aaron, whatever these guys said to you, I'll give you another couple of years, another $100 million, because money really is no option. It's like He's got more money than the Steinbrenners even back then. Like, he's got more fuck you money than anybody, dude. And listen, I don't know, it would be crazy, but why not Aaron Judge, re-sign DeGrom, and why not put Trey Turner at second base for the Mets? I don't know. I'm getting a little crazy, I understand, but yes, you know what, Rob, you're absolutely right.
Yes, I agree.
He does. He absolutely needs to be the captain, dude. He absolutely does.
And you know what? I think Judge is not like Robinson Cano. Cano went for the money. I think Judge knows the history. Judge knows he could be captain, and Judge knows he could be right out there in Monument Park with that 99. So that's a good comment. Yeah, he needs to be captain. Yankees need to do that by November 15th, I would think.
And you know what, though? Somebody just wrote, captain comes with a contract. Absolutely right.
Of course, of course.
Why do you think the other day when they asked Judge where he wants to go, Judge said he's staying in New York?
Did you see when he rounded the bases after the home run, Rich, he kissed the NY on his jersey? I don't know if you noticed that.
Yes, I know that, but again,
there's been a lot of these hints he gives and stuff like that.
Why not come out and say I'm gonna be a Yankee for the rest of my life, not just in New York? Why did he say New York?
I think it's a formality, Rich. I think he wants to see the numbers.
Steve Cohen's card in his back pocket at all times.
You know what, Rich? Take Ohtani and go away, please. What do you think about Ohtani going to the Mets, right? That could be a possibility.
Here's a question that I posed to a big Mets fan to me last night. That I posed to a Mets fan last night. Shohei Ohtani is obviously available. He's not a free agent, but I think the right trade would be able to entice the Angels, right? You think so?
Yeah. I think so.
I proposed a trade last night. Now, I'll let you know at the end of the day if I will do it or not, but Say they call up and say, listen, Shohei Ohtani to the Mets, but listen, we want Jeff McNeil, we want David Peterson, and let's throw in Ronnie Mauricio, maybe another guy. So you're talking Ronnie Mauricio, and listen, I'll even give the kid what's his name? Not Alvarez. I'm not giving Alvarez, but one more of our studs. 4 for Shohei Ohtani. Do we do it?
You want Mike Trout too?
Dude, yeah, I love Mike Trout. Mike Trout's one of my favorite baseball players. But I and a lot of Met fans, because the only reason why I say Jeff McNeil is because Jeff McNeil just won the batting title. A lot of Met fans have little heart for Jeff McNeil, which I like him too. But talking Shohei Ohtani, I'm pretty much. I saw a thing that I don't think anybody is off the table when it comes to a trade for Shohei Ohtani. I don't think on any team in baseball. Hey, listen, what if the Angels come to you and say we want Judge for Ohtani?
Wow. You're putting me on the spot here, Rich. I'd still take, I still take Judge. I'll still take Judge. You know why? Ohtani doesn't play the field. He DHs, Rich. He didn't play the field this year. He's pitched. That was the only time he's in the field, basically. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a DH. Judge brings a lot more dimensions. And if you saw his catch the other night, that was some catch he made out in right field. Did you see that?
No right fielder in baseball makes that catch. I'm saying that right now. No, listen, it helps that he's 9'2". I mean, but nobody makes that catch. I don't think anyway.
And he's got a gun too. He's got a gun. Yeah,
he's got a gun. Absolutely.
My dad, big Brooklyn Dodger fan, he used to tell me stories. A guy named Carl Furillo, he used to call him the Reading Rifle. That's what Judge is. He's the Reading Rifle. I mean, do you ever see Judge throw the ball to third base to get a guy out? You ever see that? It's like, it doesn't even bounce, but it's a strike.
Eric,
it's crazy.
Watching him play baseball, it's like watching a superhero out there because he's so much bigger than everybody else. It's kind of reminiscent of watching somebody like Randy Johnson pitch back in the day. Like when you had to face Randy Johnson, he's another one was like 9 feet tall. It's like these guys when there's baseball players, like when you're a football player, all football players are big. So you can tell like the wide receivers and the quarterbacks are like a little bit smaller than that. But when you're on baseball players are, relative or big, but when you get a guy like Judge standing next to a guy like, I don't know, just say like DeGrom or something like that.
Altuve.
It's like he's so much bigger than everybody else, and he's so athletic, which was great. He's so athletic, that kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And Ohtani is a sideshow. I agree. Just a couple of more years for Ohtani, Rich. It will bring fans to the seats, but The fans come out anyhow to Citi Field. Doesn't matter. I went to Anaheim this year to a game. There was 20,000 people when I went. The next night when Ohtani pitched, it was sold out. So, yeah, he's a sideshow. He brings in the fans, but the fans already come out in New York. So do we need him in New York or what?
You know what? Fuck him. Leave him in California. Whatever.
Oh, wow. Jesse Barfield. Yeah. You remember my Jesse Barfield story I told you, Rich, when I was at Fenway Park? And bases were loaded. Mike Greenwell's line drive down the right field line, and Jesse Barfield runs into the right field fence and goes down and inside the park grand slam. So, yeah, that's my Jesse Barfield memory.
But listen, here's another thing we need to talk about, too. Okay. This Houston Astros lineup. Okay. Now, look at
before you get started, Rich,
go ahead.
Martin Maldonado is a cheat code. That's the one out the Yankees should get every time. And what? The guy gets on base every time. He drove in the run the other night. That's the problem. Yeah.
He got a bullshit broken bat hit the other night. You know what I mean? It's like every single guy in that lineup can hurt you, dude.
Yeah.
Chase McCormick hit a home run the other night, dude. And a no doubt home run the other night, dude.
But Rich, Altuve, Alvarez, and Tucker, they're 2 for 20 right now in the series. So obviously the other guys are doing it, you know?
Gurriel's batting almost 500, dude.
And the shortstop too. The shortstop kicking ass too. So they're getting the smaller guys, and of course Bregman last night with the 3-run home run, which wouldn't have gone out if the roof was closed, I guess, right?
And what about this kid Jeremy Pena? What about him?
Yeah, makes him forget Carlos Correa, right? And you see Carlos Correa on the TV. I mean, what is he trying to do? He's trying to negotiate a contract with somebody right now, or what?
Oh, you saw him last night. That leads me to another question. Pedro Martinez is entertaining, dude. I mean, listen, I really don't understand a lot of the stuff that he says, but dude, he is very entertaining. He breaks down the pitches. I think Smoltz over here on this. I mean, Smoltz is okay, but he's a fucking ex-Brave. I don't whatever. But Pedro Martinez breaks down those pitches great, man. It's him, and it's like these guys all having a good time. See Big Papi tonight wearing the Reggie White jersey.
Yeah, did you see Pedro Martinez's suit last night, Rich?
I did, and
I
else can get away with that except for him.
No, I wore that to my bar mitzvah, Rich. That was the same suit I wore to my bar mitzvah.
Yeah, man. What's great about him too? He's brutally honest. He's like Darling. Darling's another one. Darling's brutally honest.
Well, that's the thing. These guys, don't you think these guys should be pitching coaches, Rich? I mean, they're wasting away in the broadcast booth. Darling would be a good pitching coach. Martinez would be a good pitching coach. I said a couple of weeks ago, A-Rod would make a great manager. A-Rod knows so much about baseball. Even Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds was a hitting coach with the Marlins, but he I think he got fired after a year, whatever. But I think these guys, they know so much about baseball, but they're sitting in the broadcast booth. They're making a lot of money, less stress than being down on the field. But I mean, A-Rod, I would take A-Rod as the Yankee manager. I would take CC Sabathia as the next Yankee manager. I mean, somebody better than Boone, please.
How about Don Mattingly?
Don Mattingly, there you go. There's another name. How about Derek Jeter? Derek Jeter said on Derek Jeter night, you'll be seeing more of me. So what did that mean? Is Jeter going to be the GM?
I don't know.
Right?
Why not? You know what?
Yeah.
You really want to start off something with somebody fresh? Why not, man?
Why not? And you know what? Bring in the homegrown guys. Bring in the Jeters. Bring in the Mattingleys. They've been with the teams. They were original Yankees. These guys and stuff. I mean, Mattingly was the guy that kept Buck Showalter from playing with the Yankees, basically in the minors. But yeah, why not? Imagine if Jeter is the GM and Mattingly is the manager. Imagine that.
One more thing about the Yankees lineup I want to bring up. Why did Harrison Bader not know that he was leading off the other night?
Yeah, that was that the reporter Janine Schiraldi told him whatever he's bad, and he was. Do you think that was just drama, Rich? Maybe he knew he wanted to do, or do you think it was real?
No, I think it's real. I think that's Boone. I think that Boone didn't know because Boone doesn't do the lineup.
Oh, that's right. It's Cashman. Yeah. Yep.
Levine probably said last minute, says, "Hey, you know what? Why don't you bat this kid? Why don't you lead this kid off?" He probably said, "Wait a second, he's been batting great in the 7-hole." No, I'm telling you, put him lead off. He has no clue that he was leading off.
He's a great player, but he just needs to take that mouth guard out. It's very annoying, that mouth guard. You see him twirling that thing in his mouth?
What do you think? He looks like a Yankee, man.
Let me tell you.
I'm trying to hang on to that kid.
Okay, let me tell you, Rich, and I honestly, when we did this podcast back in August, I said, what is Cashman doing with this trade? Because Montgomery came out of the gate, and he had like 5 straight wins, ERA under 2 and stuff, and I was thinking, wow, this is a great trade, but, Bader was under the disabled list. Bader comes back, he does a little bit, and then in the playoffs, all of a sudden, he looks like Babe Ruth all of a sudden with all these home runs and stuff. But yeah, he's a Yankee. He's a scrappy guy. And, they were not going to sign Andrew Benintendi. He was a rent-a player. I don't think he's coming back next year. But I think Bader's going to be your left fielder next year probably. You're going to have Bader, Judge, and who's Cabrera in left field maybe? I don't know. I don't know if you're stuck with Hicks though. That's the problem. Hicks is still around. Hicks had a 7-year contract. They signed him to but they could always cut that bait, cut bait with him basically. So we'll see what happens.
What's Bader's deal though? Like, what's like he's just what's his deal? Like, he's a free agent after this? I guess he goes.
No, I think the Yankees control him one more year, so he's there next year too and stuff. But he's a local kid. Maybe he wants to stay in the Bronx. He's a scrappy kid. That's the guy we call a player, Rich. A guy that wears it on his sleeve, basically. A guy that cares.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's a hustler. He like I said, I think I texted this to you the other night. So Jordan Montgomery right now is watching Harrison Bader hit home runs.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And don't get me wrong.
The Yankee fans were mad at that trade.
Don't get me wrong. The Yankees could have used Montgomery in the playoffs this year. I mean,
could have used Bader's 4 home runs though.
Of course, and the way that Tyon pitched the other night and Severino, they pitched pretty damn well. The Yankees starters have been pitching pretty well in the playoffs. We know it's the offense that's killing them. But they used this guy, what's his name, out of the bullpen? Oh, geez, the guy that pitched the other night gave up a couple of runs. The name,
let's go back in the witness protection program. Clark Schmidt.
Yeah, Clark Schmidt. That's it. Yeah. I don't know why the name eluded me for a second. Yeah, I was thinking Mike Schmidt.
He's not real. He's not a real guy.
Clark.
He's a guy from Witness Protection. No, who names that kid Clark Schmidt?
But
that guy
Clark,
sounds like a shady guy. He's not real. He's going to disappear. He's not real.
But Aaron Boone thinks Clark Schmidt is Michael King. Michael King was the typical Chad Green. Those two guys can give you innings. They can start. They can relieve. Clark Schmidt is not that. I think Clark Schmidt's a starting pitcher, but he's a good prospect though, Rich. He was top 10 prospect, Clark Schmidt. He'll be there, but he's still a rookie. And you know what? I don't know why Domingo Germán hasn't pitched in the playoffs yet. Why isn't he pitching the playoffs? Why take up a roster spot if a guy's not going to play, right?
That's what I was thinking too. Is he gonna pitch at all? Was he in the bullpen? Like, is he gonna? What's his deal? Like, why isn't he pitching?
I'd rather him come out instead of Schmidt the other night. I mean, Schmidt gave up the 2 home runs, right? It's crazy. I mean, he came into a game which the Yankees could have won, basically, But that's the problem. You got to be on your top game here. You can't make mistakes against the Astros. The Astros are your daddy, basically, right? I mean, until you beat the Astros, they're your daddy. And, we have to, in the playoffs, the past couple of years, the Yankees can't get past Houston. And I just wish Houston stayed in the National League. So
Houston didn't. And another thing, Clark Schmidt should go grab a car and go pick up Montero. And the two, what's his name? Oh, Montez, what's his name? Montero, whatever that pitcher's name.
Yeah.
They need to get in a car and drive as far away from Yankee Stadium as possible until these World Series or these playoffs are over. Because he was another one. He was fucking horrendous the other night, dude.
Yeah, I don't know why they brought him in. I know he has got the history against Houston where he's pretty good and stuff, but it's so funny because I'm listening to MLB on XM radio coming home, and there's this woman, she's talking about Framber Valdez last night, saying how he's got a 6.75 ERA against the Yankees. He's got 12 hits and 12 walks against the Yankees. And then the guy comes out last night and, he's just throwing bullets with those curveballs and stuff like that, So, I mean, these numbers, they're such small sample size. But Montas did have a good sample size against Houston. I think that's why he wanted to use him and stuff. But, whatever. It burnt him in the end and stuff. Like I said, it was like a spring training game where you're trying out for positions on game 1. And game 2 was because the roof was open. So what do you think about that? How is Boone's legacy? I mean, he's going to get mocked if they go back to Houston about the roof, I think.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe what I was hearing this morning. Now, in his defense, I guess he didn't outright say it. He was asked a question, but how do you cop to that? How do you say, it was windy, if Judge had another couple of feet on that home run, or if this would, dude, you're playing the same team has to play with the same elements, with the wind. I mean,
And Rich, it wasn't the Astros. It was Rob Manfred who said, open the roof, basically. He said, it's a beautiful night, open the roof, whatever. And both teams have the same advantage. Unless there's a fan blowing in from left field and it's when the Yankees are up, a big fan blowing in and holding the balls from leaving the ballpark.
I just said that to you earlier. I was with Brandon Tierney today. He's funny, that guy. He said, what if you find out at the end of this that there was fans set up that when the Astros hit a ball that blew out to center field, and when the Yankees hit a ball that blew back to home plate? I was like, wow, that would be pretty funny. I mean, actually, I wouldn't put it past him.
But at the end of the day, Rich, I do like Dusty Baker, and he's been a great manager. He paid his dues, and you know what? If he wins the World Series, good for him.
It'll be his second one, man. I mean, but listen, he
never won the World Series, Rich. He never won.
Did he win with the Nationals?
No. And Ben told me that too. It was Davey Martinez in 2019, I believe, who managed that team.
All right. You are the stat guy. I'm sure you're right, but I could have sworn that I could have sworn Dusty Baker won with the Nationals back.
Yeah, no, because he was out of a job in 2019, and the Astros hired him in 2020 when in the COVID season when the manager got fired with the scandal and stuff. So, yeah, but Baker's been with the team for, 3 years? This is his third year with the team, I think? Maybe somebody out there can chime in. But I think it was Davey Martinez who won the World Series with the Nationals in 2019.
All right. I could have sworn that was it. But anyway, you know what? Him in general, he deserves everything he gets. So he's he's got a cool head. He's been around baseball forever. And I know you guys hate the Astros, but whatever, you know what I mean? If they win, they win, because Dusty Baker deserves it, and it's baseball, and that's what you're out there. You're there to go out there to get that prize, man. But you know what? And again, I'm just looking today with Houston Astros. That kid Valdez pitched great the other night, dude.
He's pretty good. He's a workhorse. You see the one mistake he made? The Yankees scored the 2 runs that inning, but they scored the 2 runs on ground balls. So at least they put the ball in play, because it would have been a shutout. Really would have been a shut. And those runs don't go against his ERA or anything. But yeah, his curveball was nasty yesterday, right?
Yeah, man, dude, that was just it was dropping off. It was dropping off the table. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he had sticky stuff. I don't know.
Well, we'll see tomorrow. This guy Javier is going tomorrow because Lance McCullers Jr. Hurt himself on a champagne bottle, I guess, and his hand's swollen. So he won't be pitching until Sunday, but they say rain for Sunday, so they might play Monday, and they say rain for Mondays, and they might play too. So, the World Series might be ending on Thanksgiving this year, Rich, so...
What do you go? No, it's not even his hand. He hurt his elbow, Colors. He banged his elbow.
He banged his elbow. Okay, I thought it was... Yeah, okay, wow.
It sounds like it was a broken bottle, though. It sounds like he stabbed him, something like he stabbed his elbow. That's just a weird story. Remember what about a couple of years ago? I was looking up that. So remember Dave Robertson when he was kissing kissing Bryce Harper's ass when he hit that home run?
Yeah. He got hurt. He missed the last series. He missed the series against he missed the first Phillies series. But he came back for this series. But yeah, he got hurt during the celebration. I don't understand these guys with the celebration, Rich. You would think they would, get ready to play. I mean, one of the guys on the Astros punched the wall when they were relievers, and he's missing the whole playoffs now. But I just don't understand these guys. And who do they think they are? Paul O'Neill breaking the water cooler? And don't get me wrong, I hated O'Neill for doing that with the water cooler. I mean, that was such stupidity, whatever he did, you're like a big baby in the dugout.
Let's talk about that for a second. Now, he was intense. Paul O'Neill was an intense guy. Why is he the only person that you ever heard anybody say, just let it go? That's just Paul O'Neill being Paul O'Neill. Just leave him alone. Why was he the only guy who was allowed to go in there and smash the entire dugout apart and be like, all right, I'm fine now, I'll sit down. And not be like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, Rich.
Expected.
Rich, if you were the manager of 84 Diner and some kid was doing that at the dugout, what would you do to the kid, right? I know it's the major leagues, but and you coach a good team for 84 Diner, Rich. I was part of that staff for 84 Diner. We did well that year.
Yes, you were. That was that 84 Diner team. That's when we met the Ray Bars.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
We met Alex and we met son Sean. I remember sitting on that draft. Sitting in there and, drafting players, and then I see this kid, it's like, who's this kid, Sean Raybar? It's like, some kid from Pennsylvania. So I always like to take the kids that, that he just moved here. So wound up becoming, lifelong friends, with Alex and his family. And, that was pretty cool, And And that '84 Diner team, your son was a wall, man. Like he was a wall behind the plate, dude.
Yeah, Rich, we went to the diner after one game, and he had this uniform on still, and the guy who owns the diner gave this big chocolate chip cookie. It was like the size of his head and stuff. So, yeah. So he said, go 84 diner. I think the picture's still hanging up in the diner, too, of all those kids. Now we have men, 18, 19 years old, but back then they were, they were just little kids right now. I see our friend, our friend Josh wants to talk about dip. Why don't he call in and talk about dip right now?
Oh, maybe he's eating dip. I don't know. Is that what he wants to call in?
We had a bet on the Super Bowl a couple of years ago when the Buccaneers won. They beat the Chiefs, and he said I had to eat dip, and I think he still has that dip in the fridge 3 years later. So I'm kind of like, willing to do that.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. You know what? I keep pronouncing this guy's name wrong. I'm not gonna tell you. It's the Amish Outlaw. The Amish Outlaw. That he's out there somewhere.
Oh, I'm talking about the wrong guy. I forgot. That's right. It's hard to tell with these. It's hard to tell with these nicknames.
Josh told me he wasn't calling in today. Josh told me he's doing something else. He's not calling in tonight. He said, I don't know. I don't know what Josh is doing, but.
But Rich, it's hard to tell with these nicknames. I mean, everyone's got it's hard to tell who's typing in and stuff. Like somebody said, we're going to talk about Friends and The Office, which we did already, and here comes the horse. The horse is leaving the gate.
All right. So listen. Let's. If you want to, you got anything to say about the Yankees?
The Yankees are down 0-2, kind of like what I expected. It would be nice to win 2 out of 3. It'd be nice to win 3 out of 3. Just don't get swept, please. Make it a series at least. I mean, you came this far, and just don't go, quietly into the night. Do something. Cole, Nestor Cortez. Let's do it. Let's win these 2 games. Come on.
So you think that they're gonna? You don't think they're gonna pull us out?
You know what, Rich? I said Yankees in 7. I have confidence in the Yankees still. I think they can turn it around. I don't think a team could be this bad. It's law of averages. It has to turn around sometimes, Rich. It just can't go on forever like this. Something's got to happen.
I don't think the Yankees. I don't think the Yankees have the firepower in the pitching to.
No, you know what? Somebody's got to go into the clubhouse tomorrow. It's a 5:00 game. Somebody's got to go into the clubhouse and say, "Come on, guys. Let's fucking win this game now. Let's get some runs. Let's get some hits." They got to have a players-only meeting or something like that. I think they come out swinging. I think they score. I'm sorry?
Who's going to do that? There's no mean guys in there. Judge isn't a mean guy. Oh, Rizzo, maybe Rizzo. Maybe he'll go.
Maybe Rizzo. Yeah. Maybe Rizzo. Maybe one of the. Maybe Cole. You never know, right? Somebody's got to go into that locker room tomorrow and say, "Come on, guys, let's saddle up. Let's do this. Let's go out and score 7, 8 runs. Let's win this game."
Dude, if I'm I'm just laughing. If I'm in that dugout and Garrett Cole starts yelling at me, no matter how wrong I was, I think I'm gonna have to laugh in his face. I don't think that guy's got the ability to scare anybody. Although he was pretty scary when he played for Houston with that beard and the long hair, but when he became a Yankee, I guess he had to, shave it all off. But
yeah, maybe Chapman. Maybe Aroldis Chapman will show up in the locker room and do it, right?
Yeah, Chapman. Guy,
that's another guy. I never want to see him in the Bronx ever again. Chapman, never.
Yeah.
I think his baseball career is over, Rich. I don't think anybody's going to take a chance on him anymore.
What would they take a chance on? The guy was out for a tattoo a couple of weeks ago. He got listen, I'm sure his tattoo hurt, but come on, man, he missed the game. I don't know. That guy's got to go. I was throwing 108 miles an hour. I mean, come on, man. What happened to that guy? I guess he just became like a cartoon character or a caricature of himself. I don't know.
Yeah, the Mets can use Chapman, right, Rich? The Mets can use Chapman.
No way they can't use Chapman. They're going to see far away from Chapman. We have the best closer in baseball right now. Who is going to be top priority come signings? They have to sign Diaz to a contract. They have to.
Ooh, maybe the Yankees will sign Diaz. I would like to hear the trumpets in the Bronx.
That's fine. Listen. That's fine. But they have to sign Diaz. That's imperative because, as you know, and as we've seen, a closer is very important. Very important in this baseball game that we play. Because these guys, there's very, very few pitchers that can last past 7 innings. Very
sure.
Sure. If you don't have middle relief, and if you don't have a closer, I mean, you're kind of fucked because if you can be a shutdown, lockdown guy for 6 innings. Like,
yep.
Who's a pitcher that used to be like that? That was just like lockdown guy for 6 innings. Then the bullpen comes in and You're just as at that point. You're just as good as your bullpen.
Yep.
Because your bullpen, and that we've seen with the Mets. The Mets bullpen sucked all year.
Mm-hmm.
It was terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, but we had to. I would cringe. I would cringe when I see Diaz or I'd hear the trumpets in like the 8th inning and have to say, "God damn, he's got to get 6 outs." I mean, come on, really? But they got to sign Diaz. That's going to be one of the main things, and then they can take care of other things. Like I know they got to sign Nimmo and they got to do that, but and anybody thinks Nimmo is going to get some crazy huge contract somewhere else because he's wanted some. Listen, Nimmo's a nice player. He's a good center fielder. He hustles. Nimmo's not going out and getting a $20 million contract somewhere. I mean, he's definitely good, but Nimmo's not going anywhere. They're going to say, listen, Nimmo, take whatever we're going to give you and go out there and play center field for us. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but all these people saying we can't let Nimmo go. Where is he going to go? Where is he really going to go, Nimmo?
Detroit.
I like the kid, and I don't think he's going anywhere, but he's not like $20-25 million center fielder. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna be a Met. McNeil's gonna be a Met. I don't know if DeGrom. I really don't know what's gonna happen with DeGrom at the end of this year. I mean, he may go, he may stay. I don't know, but we'll start talking about that in a couple of weeks. I mean, I'm still very depressed over not watching Orange and Blue NY's on these damn playoffs here because the stupid Padres are over there. But whatever.
Yeah, I heard on the fan. I went to get some pizza before. By the way, Leo's Pizza, shrimp scampi pizza, out of this world. Everyone's got to try it. Head over to Leo's across from the stadium. Shrimp scampi pizza, delicious. But
across from Hudson Renegade Stadium.
Yeah, right across the street from the stadium. Yep. There's Leo's over there. Yeah, their pizza's awesome. Yeah, but shrimp scampi on the pizza, really good. I'm gonna have a slice after the show. I saved myself a slice upstairs. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, coming over to get the pizza. I heard on the fan that they were talking about the weekend coming up, and basically every team but the Mets is playing in New York this weekend. Rich,
wait a second. I wish I want the Amish Outlaw to call in right now. The Amish Outlaw is saying that Nolan Ryan was a 7-inning pitcher. Nolan Ryan was one of the most dominating pitchers ever in baseball. Nobody fucked with that guy, man.
Yep.
That guy would pitch. He'd pitch 14 innings if he had to.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, what did I say? At 42, he averaged 120 pitches per game.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. If anybody out there, there's a great documentary. Here he is. Here he is, right here. Let's get the Amish Outlaw on.
Is he calling in? There he is.
Is this the Amish Outlaw?
You're on the line.
Boys, can you hear me?
Hello there.
I can hear you, Amish Outlaw. I see you talking a little bit about Nolan Ryan out there. Nolan Ryan is one of the most dominating pitchers ever, Amish Outlaw. What are you,
100%. I was I should have put 7+ innings. He didn't go 9 innings all the time. I'm just saying pitchers nowadays. Hold on. Right. I just got to let you know I might cut out because my cousin's Mo is out back pedaling the bike so I can call in right now. Because us Amish don't have electric, so he's out there just trying to get it going for us, all right?
Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Tell me to keep moving on that bike.
Is there any corn being husked right now? How's the tobacco?
Huh?
It's drying out in the shed right now, EDUBBS.
Yeah, but to your point, though, Amish Outlaw, Nolan Ryan. I don't know if you saw the documentary on him. Nolan Ryan was just amazing. All that stuff that. I mean, if you look at that, you look at two guys, Roger Clemens and Randy Johnson, two of the other most dominating ever. They love Nolan Ryan. Like they had nothing but great things to say about him.
Yeah, no, the other one of your podcasts, like 2 ago, I think you were speaking about that. I wanted to watch it, I didn't. But Nolan Ryan, my grandmother, that was her favorite player. Growing up, I grew up in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. But Nolan Ryan, when you think of just a dominant pitcher, it was him. Nowadays, how many people do you see go 7+ innings?
How about 5 innings? 5 innings, they don't even go. He's got a point there.
The bottom line is they were, back then, a lot of those, think about, look at Bob Gibson, another guy. There were pitchers back then that would pitch in playoff games. They pitch back to back. They throw 26 innings in 3 days. Mm-hmm. I don't know at what point these pitchers were either coddled or I don't know. I don't know at what point it happened where they stopped, where the 100 pitch count came. I don't know.
You know where it happened, Rich? I think Billy Martin with the 1980 Oakland A's, where he had the 5 starters go over 200 innings and all 5 of them got hurt and stuff. But yeah, you don't see. You know who Valdez, the Astros pitcher, led the American League in innings. You know how many innings he pitched? 201 innings. 162 game season, he led the league in innings pitched with 200. Nolan Ryan was pitching 380 innings a year.
Dude, he was. I think they saw a stat. I think he pitched over 300 innings. I think something like 10, 11 times in his career, dude. Over 300. I mean, it's amazing, amazing. I don't know.
Now again, everyone's going to say like, sorry, but everyone says like it was different back then. Our parents say it, we say it. But I'm telling you right now, even our parents' age, the players nowadays, they're getting paid a lot of money. Mm-hmm. They don't play half as what – now, they play more games than what the other teams did back in the day. But Nolan Ryan, at 42, he was averaging over 127 pitches per game.
Pitched a no-hitter in his 40s as well.
Through his 7th no-hitter at 42.
And who is it that he punched out in the 40s?
Ventura. Robin Ventura. Yeah.
Robin Ventura made a lot of maybe good decisions in his life, but the worst decision was running after him on that first day. He punched him right in his face. Said, "Come on, rookie." Robin Ventura was a rookie at that point.
Crazy.
That's what you need, EDUBBS. That's what you need as a Yankee pitcher right now. Is your pitcher to be willing to punch out any of those Astros players because they would have that guy in the back. Because guess what? One of your best pitchers is from Pittsburgh.
Yes. And Taillon's from Pittsburgh too, so we got 2 Pirates on the staff. But yeah, we need that. We need the Yankees to throw inside tomorrow. Maybe knock a guy down or two. They need to have some, you need some character. Pitchers aren't like that anymore. Pitchers don't like to throw inside anymore, it seems.
No, absolutely not. I guess, like I said, it just changes with the times, but I don't like it.
Can I just jump in real quick and just say something? This is towards you, EDUBBS, with your whole Friends thing. You saw 1 episode of Friends, so that is like me saying I watched the last Yankees game and they suck.
Small sample size, I know. So yeah, maybe once this season's over, I will watch a couple episodes or something like that. I don't know how you watched it. I don't know how you watch it without the How does he watch it without electricity? That's what I want to know.
My cousin Mose has went through a lot of bikes trying to get my TV going and my cell phone. I have a flip phone right now I'm using, okay?
Using the community phone by the oak tree, right?
I just lost my BlackBerry from 5 years ago, so now I'm up to a flip phone.
Upgrading nicely, I see, huh?
Hey,
all right,
I'm staying
guys.
with the
All
times,
right, so.
the Amish times. Well, hey, I gotta go. He's getting tired. He's about ready to pass out, boys. I just want to
thank you for joining us, though.
Keep rocking, and EDUBBS, I'm gonna mount the mule on top of him, not behind him, and bring him up to your house with dip.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Amish Outlaw, thank you very much, and we're looking forward to hearing from you in the future.
Loving the show, boys. Keep it going.
All right.
Thank you for calling.
All right.
Anybody else want to jump in before we move along?
So are we done with baseball? So
we're done with baseball. I just wanted to know if you had anything else on the Mets there, Rich, or anything, or.
No, not really, man. Like, the Mets. Listen, the Mets really disappointed me this year, dude. They really did. I mean, but that's all I gotta say about the Mets. I mean, I know Billy Epler was trying to make a big deal about Musgrove that night, and they were talking about how the pitching, like the curveball was breaking at a crazy rate. But you know what though? At the end of the day, I'm not going to be that guy. There's an L. They lost the game. So what happens? Okay, so what happens? Let's say they prove that there was like something in Musgrove's ear. Okay, so they proved it. Okay, so what happens? What do they just stop the playoffs? I mean, it's over. It's over. The Mets lost. And you know what? The Mets did not hit. They didn't hit. They didn't come through. Nobody came through in that game 3, and they disappointed the fans. And the pitching didn't come through. The two guys, everybody says pitching and defense. And see, now you got me all fucking mad. Now, pitching and defense wins games.
Yep.
And do we have the two most dominating pitchers in the game? And you know what they did? Nothing. Now, look, I'm not gonna hold that against them. Well, I am gonna hold it against them. Next year is gonna be a new season. You know what? Max Scherzer pitches better, and what's his name? Bassett pitches better. Yeah, maybe the Mets are playing right now. But you know what, though? I'm not going to look in the past. They just didn't show up. The Mets lost. They just lost, and that's it. I'm putting the Mets in the past right now and looking forward to the future where I hate to say it, but I did say the San Diego Padres were going to win the World Series in the beginning of the season. But I didn't put any money on it, but I think the Padres are going to win. It's going to be the Houston Astros and the Padres are going to find a way to beat the Astros.
Wow. I'm sure Fox doesn't want that. I'm sure Fox wants the Yankees and Phillies to get that East Coast money and stuff like that. But whatever, we'll still be watching though, right, Rich? No matter who plays.
You did. And Jets and Mets in a tough house. MURF all three. Jets and Mets in a tough house. That's funny.
Just one more.
Yeah, I know.
One more baseball, or two more baseball notes. Francona signed again with Cleveland, so he'll be back. He said the team energized him this year, and, they were a pesky group, those guys, so they'll be around next year, too. And Bruce Bochy, 3 years after retirement's back. 4 World Series appearances, 3 wins with the Giants, 1 with the Padres, a loss in '98 to the Yankees, but taking over the Texas Rangers. They're probably their best manager ever, and they spent a lot of money in the offseason. And maybe the Rangers will give the Astros a run for their money next year and finish first. So that's a good gig that he got. We can see the hot stove is starting to churn, Rich, and we'll see more of the hot stove as we get into November with the player movement and stuff like that. So a lot to look forward to in baseball over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, you're damn right. There's always, like you said, a hot stove to talk about and stuff like that. But that's what I'm saying. Good luck to your Yankees and good luck to Garrett Cole. Like I said to you, maybe hopefully he'll bring his balls and pitch maybe 8 innings and the Yankees move on and for your sake win. But I just don't think they got it in to beat the Houston Astros. I just think the Houston Astros are too tough. I think Altuve hasn't broken out of his slump yet. So he may break out in a big way. So we'll see.
Yikes.
That's why they play the games, righty?
Exactly. Games aren't won on paper, Rich, and won on the fields. That's like I always say. So we'll see how this transpires, and maybe next week I'll be playing taps for the Yankees. So we'll see what happens. So, but I want to talk a little basketball, Rich. We haven't talked NBA. The season started this week. I know there are some people interested in NBA out there, and I'm a lifelong. I was going to say New Jersey Nets fan because I did grow up in New Jersey and spent a lot of time at the Brendan Byrne Arena, Continental Arena, whatever arena, Izod Center, whatever it was, and the Barclays Center. But this team, it's all or nothing. I mean, Durant, Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons, they're either going to win the NBA championship or trade all these guys away before the season ends. So, the Nets playing in the Barclays Center, there's just like no identity for this team whatsoever. I mean, you're living in the shadows of the Knicks. I don't know what your thoughts are on the Nets, Rich, but I mean, just over the years, they're just like a second-class citizen. They just should have stayed in New Jersey for all that matters and stuff. I mean, they did make the NBA Finals 2 years back in the early 2000s, and I did have tickets to one of the games, but it was the game if necessary, so I never got to go. I got my money back, but they were exciting back then. They were exciting when they had Drazen Petrovic. They had their, they had their times, but it seems like with this big three they have right now, they better win the championship this year. Any opinions?
Opinions. I got a whole bunch of opinions. I mean, listen, Kevin Durant. I mean, Kevin Durant, top 2 player in the NBA, maybe top player in the NBA. Why can't he get it together like with this Nets team? Like, why can't he become the guy and says, "Come on, guys. Look, you got Kyrie Irving's crazy, bro." Listen, what's his problem going to be 2 or 3 weeks into the season? Harden was on the team last year. I mean, Harden lost some weight. I was watching him play. I was watching him play my Celtics the other night. Celtics won, but I was watching him play the night. He looks like he might have been turning a page. What happens to some of these players? Like when they go and they put on that Nets uniform, like do they just fight with Kevin Durant, or is Kyrie Irving just a jerk? Or like what happens there? Like what's his name was very unhappy there too. Was it his name Spencer Dinwiddie? He played.
Oh yeah. Dinwiddie was a good player too and stuff. Yeah.
Were very upset. They hate playing over there, dude.
It's crazy. I don't understand it. I mean, they're playing it's a nice arena, but it's just like there's no fan base. It's like it's kind of like the Lakers and the Clippers. I mean, but the Clippers are a little bit better now. There's a fan base, but the Nets fan base is not that big at all. It's just they're trying to build this team with the big three and stuff. And Ben Simmons didn't play a lick last year. This week, his first game, he had 4 points in 23 minutes. He came out awful. They did win tonight. I see that on my computer. They did pull out a victory tonight against the Raptors, so they're 1-1. But still a long way to go. 80 games to go. But this team better win a championship. I mean, I went a couple of years ago. I took my son. We saw the Bucks and the Nets, and I really thought they were destined for the championship that year with the big three of Harden, Durant, and Irving. But they fizzled out in that series against Milwaukee. But getting to the playoffs is one thing in the NBA. A lot of eight teams make it from each conference. You can make it under 500. It doesn't even matter. But the real thing is the playoffs, and you got to show me some balls in the playoffs. Come on, Nets, let's go.
You have to, and you have to show some balls. I don't know. Do the Nets have it? I don't know. I mean, you're in the same division. Listen, you're in the same division with my boys, and I think my boys from you just explain your Nets fandom for real quick. My basketball fandom is a little different. As you know, I'm a Mets fan. I'm a Jets fan. I'm a New York guy, but Boston Celtics are my NBA team. Now, the reason I'm a Boston Celtics fan is, before you guys break my balls, listen, I'm 50 years old. I loved Larry Bird. I loved that team back then growing up. So you know what, though? Basketball, I've been in and out of. I mean, Michael Jordan is my all-time favorite athlete of all time. I mean, it's just, but the Boston Celtics, to me, I loved Larry Bird. I mean, I just loved watching them play in the 80s. I loved it in the 90s. I mean, even when I loved, and again, Kevin Garnett, I have his jersey. He's another guy. Came to the Celtics, won a championship. Him and Paul Pierce and and I just felt, Rondo. I know they all can't stand Rondo. I was watching, listening to a podcast the other day. What's his name? It was on Steven Jackson's podcast the other day. Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce were on with Steven Jackson on his, All the Smoke podcast that he's got there. And they were talking about Rondo and like what a little bitch he is. They would say that they'd be in the huddle, and they'd be making the play or whatever. And Rondo would come over and he'd be like, all right, guys, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. And then Garnett say he would turn around, he'd look at Pierce and we go, man, fuck that guy. And they would just go back out to the field like completely just not paying attention to what he was saying. But that team won a championship, and Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett won a championship for the Celtics there. And that was good times being a Celtics fan. But that's kind of like the short history of my Celtics fandom. I'm not a Knicks. I liked the early 90s Knicks. I did like them. But, like I said, I'm a Celtics fan. So, and watching this team now with Tatum and Brown. I mean, Horford's out there now because the center's hurt, but Horford does a pretty good job. I mean, the Celtics have to win a championship this year. And the reason I say they have to win a championship this year is because they went to the championship last year and they lost to the Golden State Warriors.
Yep.
Now,
the villains, the Golden State Warriors, right? Crazy.
Good. Someone says good coach on the Boston Celtics. Yeah, he's good at something else than he's better at something else than coaching. Obviously, I mean, listen, he's a good coach. He's obviously better at something else. And that guy on the assistant coach there just looks lost. I just hope that doesn't turn to a shit show for the Celtics. That he can't control the team, or I just hope down the line it doesn't turn into a shit show. You know what I mean with the coaching situation. I mean, this guy's out for the year, right?
Yep. And, somebody mentioned Len Bias. Remember Len Bias? I mean, I'll never forget that day. I was in college. It was like college orientation, and the news came out that he passed away and stuff. That was absolutely nuts. Can you imagine if Len Bias had his career with the Celtics? Imagine that, Rich.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. And his death is very strange. Good kid. Found coke in his system. He had a heart attack. Good kid.
Yeah.
It's very. It's that his death is a little weird and so tragic. So tragic. Oh. He was a good ball player. Just coming out, you just knew, like Michael Jordan. I know he has Len Bias. You know what I mean? Yep. So it was. He came. What was it? 80? I think it was around the same time too. Wasn't it 86?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, 86. That's when I started college. Yeah. So yeah, it was the first year. Yep, exactly. 86. Yeah, got drafted, and a couple of days later he was gone. Right? Crazy.
He was pre Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? So,
Yes.
I mean, I mean, what do you got? I think Len Bias went to Maryland, right? I think Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland. Yeah. It's crazy. Wow.
Yeah,
Unreal.
That's a shame. We got, the NBA is it's heating up now.
It just started. This kid, the number 1 draft pick, Paolo Banchero, the 19-year-old from Duke. He only played his freshman year. Came out drafted by the Orlando Magic. His first game, 27 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks. The first rookie to do that since LeBron James. So what does the guy do? He comes back tonight and he scores 20 points tonight with 12 rebounds and 3 assists and 3 blocks. So a star is born in Orlando, I guess, as number 1 draft pick. We'll see how that pans out.
Where did he come from, Eric?
He went to Duke, Rich. He came out. He won 1 year Duke. Came out as a freshman. A lot of these kids do that now. They come out as freshmen, basically. Not worth risking the injury. We saw that happen to a couple of kids already and stuff that left Duke and stuff. So, but yeah, no, he came out and Orlando drafted him first pick and stuff. And kind of like taking the step that Zion Williamson took. Same type of career and stuff. It looked like coming out of college that first year.
I'm trying to figure out here who SMQIQBBF is, because LeBron, I only wish him failure. Me.
Don't we all, Rich? Don't we all? I can't stand him, right?
I wish him. I would love this. Oh my God. Whatever. I can't stand it. Yeah, Zion, Rob, good point. Zion.
Yeah, and Zion killed the Nets the other night, single-handedly. New Orleans came to the Barclays Center and just drilled them on opening night. That's why I said there's no home court advantage for the Nets, basically.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on 1 second. Now I see who this guy, Kevin Aubrey, my boy. All right, you're listening. Maybe we'll get you to call in eventually when you get a little more comfortable. But it's nice to hear you listening, Kevin. I appreciate it, my friend. Long time no see. We got to get together, brother.
Yeah, he's the same. Man, he's the same guy that called me a fraud, Rich, on Facebook.
and if I remember correctly, he's one of these guys that I know that has a favorite football team that is kind of like. Oh, no problem. He said, sorry, Dub, no problem. I thought it was pretty funny, actually. I wake up and I look at my Facebook post and it says, E-Dub's a fraud. It's like, huh? It's like... Kev, do we still call them the Skins? Or what do we call them these days? Anyway, it's good. It's good to see you, Kev. Keep listening, brother. Like I said, we got to get together soon.
Oh, is he? Is he?
Sorry to E-Dubs. He's got thick skin. I break his balls all the time. Don't say.
Yeah, I got ice water in the veins. Oh, is he a Redskins fan, Rich? Here we go. He said always the Redskins.
Always the Redskins. The only Redskins fan I know.
But though, Rich, seriously, when you look back at history, they don't say the Commanders, they say the Redskins, right? Where Joe Theismann, like, I was watching something with the Guardians the other day, and they're talking about, the Indians play they don't change the names. They're still going to say the names. They're not going to change. You know what, Rich? I'm waiting for the one day where they superimpose the new logos on the helmets. Like, they'll show, like, Slingin' Sammy Baugh from, like, the 50s, but it'll have, like, a Commanders helmet on, right? Can you imagine that? That's what we're in for, Rich, with all these teams changing names.
You make a good point. What do they say when they talk about Joe Theismann? They say
Redskins. They say Redskins.
All right, so why don't they just name the team goddamn Redskins?
Exactly. I mean, the history doesn't go away. You have so much history. The history doesn't go away. Doug Williams led the Redskins to the Super Bowl, not the Commanders, right? I know one thing. Carson Wentz isn't leading the Commanders to the Super Bowl or the Redskins.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, no, whatever.
Yep,
but
exactly.
Go back to just basketball. We're going to do our NFL segment in 1 second, but I'll go back to going back to basketball. The Knicks are going to be terrible this year. I know, not they're going to be terrible. I guess they have a little something going on. They're not going anywhere. They're going to be. I don't even think they're going to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, no. You know what? The fans have it's always hope brings eternal. But you know what? At the end of the year, Rich, they're not making the playoffs.
No. Especially unless the East, dude. Now more than ever, the East is stacked with teams.
Yep.
The East has so many teams. I mean, the East is better than the West.
Yeah. It's so unpredictable, these guys. Did they even come to play during the season? I mean, case in point, the other night, Utah Jazz traded away their whole team basically, and they beat Denver with Josic and all these guys. So I don't even know if these guys come to play during the season. It seems like they turn it on there in the playoffs. It's basically just make the playoffs and let's get in and stuff. But Atlanta Hawks improved, Cavaliers improved. There's some pretty good teams out there this year, Rich, in the East.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, look at me. Like I said, you got the Celtics, you got the Nets. Get the Sixers, Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid's a beast, man. I was watching that game the other night. He is huge, bro. That guy is a beast. The Sixers, now they got Harden. Harden looks slimmer. Harden was shooting the other night. I can't stand Harden because he's one of those guys that if he gets angry or something, he's not going to play. But listen, man, he's he's a player too.
Yeah.
Think of like, maybe a watered down version of Shaq and Kobe on that team. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, Embiid is a force. And that's the Sixers. And don't forget about the Cavs either. The Cavs got one of the most. They just picked up one of the most exciting players in basketball. And I don't know why he went to the Cavs. I think he should have went to the Knicks. But Donovan Mitchell's over there now. You got Evan Mobley over there. That's a team that's going to make some noise.
Yeah, I think the Amish Outlaw wants to talk NHL, but we don't talk NHL to the playoffs, right, Rich? We need an NHL correspondent and a soccer correspondent because the World Cup starts in 30 days, I think. So, are we going to talk World Cup, Rich?
I gotta give my Uncle Michael a shout out here because he listens to every one of our podcasts. And when we did our show the other night, and I asked you guys, what would you rather do? Hit a home run, score a touchdown, shoot the winning bucket. He texted me the next day and says, "What about scoring the winning goal for the United States to win the World Cup?"
Wow,
Michael, I'm not a soccer guy, and I didn't think to bring soccer into the mix, but I'd have to say that would probably be pretty cool though. Pretty cool too, but not as cool as the other four things.
Yeah, we'll see what happens on Black Friday. I think the World Cup starts this year because it's played in a different part of the world where they could play soccer in the winter or fall, whatever. But we got a lot of NBA.
Don't get me wrong. I'm turning on the World Cup, dude, because I don't know how long ago. I was watching a World Cup game in a bar maybe like 20 years ago. And I was watching Croatia against Germany or something. I couldn't tell you. It's one of those Slavic countries, but the Croatian fans set the place on fire, and it was okay. There was just red flames everywhere. They're cheering for their team, and I'm like, "Holy shit! These fans are out of their minds. They almost set the fucking stadium on fire. I mean, come on, man." But I guess maybe my uncle will come on and be our soccer correspondent. Maybe I'll have to get him to come out of the beach.
Well, you want to hear something?
Hooligans. I love the soccer hooligans.
You want to hear something funny, Rich? I did go to a World Cup game, believe it or not. Do you believe EDUBBS, who hates soccer, went to a World Cup game? Do you believe that? It was at Giant Stadium, I guess 1994, was it, when the World Cup was here? I saw Morocco against Saudi Arabia, and I could never feel so uncomfortable in all my life. You're at a game, and they're not playing the national anthem of the United States. You believe that? It's crazy, right? That was the first time I've ever been in a game in my country and never heard the national anthem.
Yeah, no, the United States, they're just not going to compete. They're not really going to compete on that level. You know what I mean?
Yep, exactly. But it was weird. Morocco against Saudi Arabia. Very strange.
Yeah. All right. So we went off on a tangent on soccer.
Well, let's talk about real football now, Rich. The NFL, the real football.
There it is. Let's go. Let's get the NFL going. All right. Now.
Yeah, I can't believe we're week 7. Week 7 already. You believe that? Jeez.
Now, week seven brings a huge story that happened yesterday. Now,
wow.
The Panthers are having a fire sale. Now.
Yes.
I'm looking at the trade here. Now, let's dissect this trade for a minute. As
sure.
you know, Christian McCaffrey went to the San Francisco 49ers, and the 49ers gave away a second, third, and fourth round pick and a fifth
for next year. Yeah.
So now I was looking at McCaffrey's a beast. Listen, McCaffrey's great. Like he's a good running back when he's on the field. Now he missed 23 games in the last 2 years. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first year on the just 2 years of the 17 games, right?
Yes.
All right, so that's 34. He missed 23 out of 34 games in the last 2 years. Now, what's going to happen? What's going to happen the first time he gets smashed or he he hurts his leg or he hurts his elbow. Like, what's going to happen to it then? Like, are the 49er fans going to go crazy and say that they shouldn't have done it? But I guess you got to take that. You have to take that. You have to take that chance, right? Because the kid is electric. He doesn't get hurt.
I think Carolina won the trade, Rich, and let me tell you why. They got the draft capital. They got second, third, fourth, and fifth. Like we said, the fifth is next year, or the year after, whatever. But they got the draft capital. They traded Robbie Anderson this week too to Houston. So yeah, they're having a fire sale and stuff. But you know what though? San Francisco has all the weapons now, and it's so funny because you got Deebo Samuel, the wide receiver, who's better as a running back, and then you have CMC now, who's better as a wide receiver, and he's the running back, and then you have that guy Kyle Juszczyk, who's he's a fullback. He plays tight end. So the 49ers like a hybrid offense. They have guys that can play all these different positions. Now the problem with the 49ers is look who their quarterback, who's behind the center. So that's the only problem with the 49ers. Their odds did not go up to win the Super Bowl because of this trade because of their quarterback. But we should see let's see what happens. Also, yeah, Kittle they have his tight end. So you know they're an offensive juggernaut. But like I said, if they had another quarterback, they might do it. So, what do you think about the trade, Rich?
I think it's a good trade. I think it's a good trade for them. Both are going to work out because listen, you know, in a perfect world, if McCaffrey stays healthy, Deebo Samuel is he's electric. That kid. He's a running back. He's a wide receiver. He could probably even play quarterback if he wanted to. But I also heard him say that he'd rather be a wide receiver. Okay, fine. You'd rather be a wide receiver. So there you go. There's your wish. You're a wide receiver now. So you got a wide receiver and you got Christian McCaffrey. Now, looking at their offensive line, last time I checked, they have a top 10 offensive line right now. So now you got two exciting players in that. You know, Christian McCaffrey doesn't have to do everything right now. He doesn't have to do everything. He can get his carries. He can come out of the backfield, you know, little flare plays or whatever. But he doesn't have to do anything. That team was terrible team. The Panthers. And Robbie Anderson's gone too, but Christian McCaffrey he may have resurgence here, and you know, with Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey and a whole host of others there. And listen, Garoppolo, he's handsome, right? He's not as handsome as Tom Brady, but you know, he's not a good quarterback. But I think when you got two guys like Deebo Samuel and you got a good offensive line, you got Christian McCaffrey in that lineup now. I think their odds might have went up a little bit to win the Super Bowl. And don't forget me if I'm wrong. Oh no, what's his name? Bosa got hurt, right? Bosa's hurt.
Yep.
But you know, their defense took a little bit of a hit. But I don't know, man. I think the 49ers jumped up a little bit because just with getting a healthy McCaffrey, and we're talking about a perfect world here. He's probably going to get hurt, but a perfect world. You know, I think they got better. I really do.
And he's only 26-year-old, Rich. I thought he's been around for longer than that, but only 26. And he's from Stanford, so he goes back home, basically a California kid. So, yeah, I guess the Bay Area is very friendly for him and stuff. So we'll see what happens to him in this season. Is he going to play Sunday, did he say, Rich? I don't know if he's going to play Sunday or not.
They said they didn't know if he was going to play Sunday or not. I hope he does. I mean, that'd be great to see him play. You know, get him in there. Why wouldn't he play? Would he pass a physical or something? Why wouldn't he play?
Yeah, playbook maybe or something like that. But I think these guys just feed him the ball. But on the fantasy football side of it, I think it's bad for fantasy owners because there's too many mouths to feed in San Francisco right now, I think.
No, I guess. But you know, but right now you're talking about this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They made it. They obviously made a trade for this year. They obviously want to do something. I mean, you know, they had a good team last year. They made the playoffs. You know, and just adding McCaffrey. You know, why not? You know, and Deebo Samuel, he's going to heat up. Whatever. I think I see. I know I have a friend out there that she's a big San Francisco 49ers fan and loves Garoppolo. I don't know what she sees in Garoppolo, but. But yeah, she was actually a little upset about it. And I'm saying she, and when I say she's a very, very, very good fan. I don't know if she's listening, but she had texted me today and thought that she hated the trade. But she said they traded away the future, you know, for one guy who gets hurt all the time. But All we can really see, what happens in the future. See what happens.
Yeah, it's and I think somebody typed in, it's good, but you don't know who they draft, basically. So it all depends on the general manager now who drafts these guys for the Panthers and stuff like that. So these trades sometimes take a while to pan out, but it's not quite like the Herschel Walker trade. Remember when the Walker trade where everything got mortgaged? Basically, I think he was traded for like 50 guys, basically, and crazy, right?
All right, Ditka did that, right?
Yeah, was it Ditka? Yeah, maybe. Yes, that's right. Yes. Yeah, I forgot about Ditka. Yeah, that was but yeah.
So I know he's known as a Bear and a Cowboy player, but he wasn't. He coached the New Orleans Saints, right? And I think he's responsible for like ruining like a couple of seasons for them.
They're still pretty ruined, the Saints, it looks like, it's like that debacle last night in the desert, basically, but Rich, just want to give an update. It's the top of the 8th and the Phillies are winning 4-2 over the Padres. So that game's coming down to the end of the game sooner than later, these 3-hour ball games and stuff like that. So just wanted to give our fans the update on that are listening live and stuff. But yeah, so McCaffrey's out there in San Francisco, and I just want to talk about another guy on my team, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady. Just want to give a couple of words about him, Rich. So I'm watching.
Let me ask you a question as a fan of the team. Watching him scream at them offensive linemen last week. What did you think about that?
Rich, we got that wrong. It was Ricky Williams, the Ditka one. That was Ricky Williams. Herschel Walker was the Vikings and Cowboys. Yeah. Yeah. So I want to get into what Brady said. Somebody just put it down there. I just want to get. So Brady has a talk radio show on XM Radio every week. I think it's with Mike Krzyzewski. And he said something. He said football is like playing football is like going away on a military deployment, and it got a lot of guys who served upset about that. He apologized, but Brady just says the wrong thing sometimes, and it kind of like got in hot water with that statement.
I would see why he got hot water for that statement. You can't. I don't think there's, unless you've done that type of military deployment. And again, I know a lot of veterans, a lot of my friends, and a lot of people that it's not like playing football. Listen, football's hard.
Yep.
The fucking military's hard. So don't compare the two. There's no comparison to that. I know you're Tom Brady, and I didn't even know he said that because Tom Brady walks on water in my eyes. But
yeah, it kind of was off the radar, but on Twitter they got a lot of feedback and stuff, and I'm just wondering how my father, if he was alive, how my father would take to that, because my dad served in the U.S. Army as well, and I just wonder how he would take to that. But a lot of these guys, I mean, how can you compare football to the military, right?
There's not too many things that go on in your daily routine in life, that you can compare to the military. I mean, it's just you can't compare anything to that. I know it's hard and everything, but what do you think about him flipping out on the offensive lineman?
Well, did you see the game last week, Rich? It was horrible. I mean, my DirecTV worked for a change, so I got sitting down. I'm thinking, like, yeah, Steelers, Buccaneers. We both picked the Bucks to win big last week, Rich. We lost that. I'll go over the numbers later, how we did. But the game was awful. I mean, Brady gets sacked 2 more times this week. He has the all-time record. I mean, of course, he's got the record for playing. When you play so long, you got the longevity record. Of course, you're going to lead you're going to have the all-time sack record. But yeah, it's not the same for Brady as the Super Bowl season, where he had a great offensive line. Even last year with the great offensive line, there's a lot of holes in that line this year, and he's been looking at the sky a lot. He's been on his ass a lot. Also, the divorce hanging over his head. There was a press conference about the retirement. He said he's going to finish his season basically, and we'll see what happens next year. I mean, Lamar Jackson's a free agent. Garoppolo will be out there probably. There's some quarterbacks out there in the draft, so we'll see the way the Buccaneers go. The divorce I just said. So a lot of stuff going on with Brady these past couple of weeks, and it's showing on the field, I think. I don't know if it's regression or just so much drama going on with this guy, but it just seems like the Buccaneers aren't the same team they are. They're 3-3, but the good news is they have the easiest record down the stretch. There's 11 games to go, and it starts this week in Carolina. So we'll see what happens with the Buccaneers.
Now Brady. Okay, now Brady came back. Apparently, he's getting divorced because his wife didn't want him to play football anymore or whatever. So now he says, "All right, I'm coming back screw you, whatever. We're gonna get divorced because of this. Okay, now what if they go like what if they win 5 games this year and they don't even make the playoffs and he retires? Does he say, "Holy shit, man! I just I threw my whole marriage out for something I love."
You know what though, Rich? He might not retire this year. He might come back. He might not be with the Buccaneers. Might be with a different team. I know he wanted to go out to California and play. Maybe he's the backup to Trey Lance in San Francisco, and Garoppolo comes to Tampa Bay. You remember he almost went to the Dolphins too. There was some tampering going on and stuff. But he's like Belichick. Football's in his blood. Belichick lives, breathes everything football, Belichick divorced his wife, same thing what Brady did now and stuff, I mean, Belichick has a 20-year-old girlfriend, and Brady will probably have the 20-year-old girlfriend too eventually, but Brady, he's just like the guy that doesn't want to leave, he wants to play. He doesn't want to go away, and I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't the end, or, the drama lives on. I don't know. We'll see what happens though, Rich. You brought up a good point. If they do go 5-12, does he call it a career? Maybe, maybe not, but it should, we'll see what happens. The Buccaneers have a talented offense. They got some good players. I think the Chiefs game rattled them, but they should have come back and beat Pittsburgh last week. They should have done that. And if they lose to Carolina this week, then we know there's a problem. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Brady puts his foot in his mouth and yells at his players and, whatever, and he'll be out there Sunday and all will be forgotten.
I have a couple of thoughts. I have a couple of thoughts on what Brady did. Now Brady went nuts on his offensive line last week. Right for himself. He was getting his ass kicked. Okay, he was getting his ass kicked. He was running for his life. He's 45 fucking years old. I know. I'm 50, and I wouldn't be able to run around, for my life like that. And he's a high level athlete. Okay.
Yep.
Your offensive line is supposed to be your protection. Your protector. This is Tom Brady. Now, for him to yell and scream at them, I think that's fine. But today he kind of like backpedaled and he said he apologized to them. Now,
yeah.
I would say, this is what I would say. I would say, don't come out in public and say, well, I apologize to the players after the fact. I came off wrong. I think you look weak in that aspect, because if you're yelling and screaming and it's a high tense situation and you're yelling and screaming out and you're pissed in the moment, backpedal. You're the quarterback. You're the quarterback. And if you're mad because you're getting your ass kicked, you have every right to yell and scream in your offensive line. But I don't know if you guys know, if you guys heard Travis Kelce and his brother have a have a podcast. Now, I don't know if you heard. This morning they were talking about that. So I guess Travis Kelce's brother is I guess offensive lineman for the Philadelphia Eagles, and they're talking. Says he's Tom Brady, and he's yelling and screaming. It's like, what would you do if Tom Brady did that to you? He's like, well, it's Tom Brady. And then he brought in the fight. He's like, but he's like, if that was me, he's like, the quarterback talked like that to me, I would pick him up by his throat and pretty much throw him across the, throw him across the field. But these are big, tough guys who could kick Tom Brady's ass at any point. But I think at that point, you have respect for the fact that he's yelling. So don't turn around and in public apologize when you did something in the heat of the moment to get your team going. Don't apologize for it. Don't backpedal on it. That was my only problem with that.
Rich, they lost Ryan Jensen, the center, all-pro center, got lost, injury. Ali Marpet retired. Another guy went to Cincinnati. So, it's not the starting five they had last year. And Brady was very comfortable behind that starting five on the offensive line. And also, he loved his Gronk, too. So, I just wonder if Gronk is working out, getting ready, and he'll be making a comeback soon.
Dude. Did you see Gronk last week? Gronk is working with Fox right now. He is not coming back to football. He's hanging out with Howie Long and all those guys. There is no way he's coming back now. He's got himself a cushy job. He gets to joke around with all those old-time Bradshaw and those guys. There's no way he's coming back to football. He's like, man, Tom, this was last year. He probably tell himself, he's like, you're looking old, my friend. I am not coming back to help you out this year. He's got a nice job where he can hang out and joke around and do whatever the hell he wants with those maniacs from Fox. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Yeah, well, you never know. There's strange things have happened and stuff, but yeah, he's retired and come back before Gronk. So, I think
Amish Outlaw, you just posted something up there. You said Gronk is promoting some weed now. Is this true? I didn't what do you call? I didn't see that. Maybe he is. Maybe he's promoting a weed company. That'd be great. That'd be good.
Oh, look at that. He's
I don't know.
he's a marketing guru now, Rich, huh?
Oh my God, it's a marketing genius. That guy, man. You could put his name, you could wear a shirt, anything, and it'll sell. He's just like a big kid. Remember winning Super Bowl, smashing Bud Lights on his head. I mean, he's a little kid.
Yep,
Weed is
exactly.
life. That's right. Hey, it's becoming that way. You know.
Hey, Rich, I like this interaction thing with the chats and stuff. It looks pretty cool, right?
I do. Yeah, I do too, man. It is pretty cool. It is pretty cool.
You're gonna see Grant drinking Delta 9 Gatorade at the Super Bowl, right?
Anyway, listen, if you guys know your weed, stay away from that Delta 9 stuff. It's not real. Anyway, that's my public service announcement for the evening. Stay away from Delta 9.
They sell it at the gas station. Point Dunkin' Donuts is. I was at the I was getting my coffee a couple of weeks ago, and it said we sell Delta 8, Delta 8, I should say. They had there. Yeah.
Yeah. There's what do you call it? They've been really cracking down on the places selling weed. But listen, it's going to become 100% legal in like a couple of weeks anyway. They just busted a couple of stores down in Manhattan that were actually selling the weed. They only gave them a fine or something, but it's all money. It's all money. They don't give a shit. They just want to get their cut. That's all.
Did they bust Chuck E. Cheese, Rich, for selling weed?
Oh, Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know. Everybody. It's gonna be legal soon, and they're gonna have to figure out something because there's a lot of people in jail for selling small amounts of weed, and that's for a whole other show. But I think that NFL players and I think professional athletes should be able to indulge in marijuana because listen, it's more of a medicine than alcohol, and these guys drink alcohol every single day. So
yep,
I think they should do something with marijuana being legal with the NFL.
Exactly. Hey, Rich, back to football. What about Jets? The Jets? Jets are killing it this year, as well are the Giants. So New York football team's looking positive on the upswing, it looks like, right? But then there's some negative with the Jets. Moore wants to be traded, it looks like. So it looks like the Jets are going to more be pounding ground, running the ball rather than throwing it. But what's going on with the Jets? They're looking good.
All right, what's going on with the Jets right now is, remember Keyshawn Johnson?
Of course.
Most remember. What did Keyshawn Johnson say back in 1998?
Throw me the damn ball, right?
Throw me the damn ball. That's what Elijah Moore is doing right now, okay? Elijah Moore is part of a football team that's winning right now, okay? Shut up, Elijah Moore, all right? So you're not getting the ball. Maybe you had a tiff with the quarterback, or maybe you said something to the wrong guy. Okay, but you know what though? Shut up, Elijah Moore. Because you know what though? First of all, you're not Keyshawn Johnson either. You guys. Listen. Keyshawn Johnson, throw me the damn ball. We all know what happened to Keyshawn Johnson. So he may turn into Keyshawn Johnson, but Keyshawn Johnson was 6'5". You're 5'9". You're not a dominating wide receiver like him. And listen, was I pissed off when I said that? Yes, I was. But but you know what though? That's the mentality of wide receivers in the NFL these days. They want the football.
That's right.
Don't be so passive aggressive about it. Mm-hmm. You're winning, okay? What are you, jealous? What are you jealous of Garrett Wilson? Garrett Wilson is going to be a certified star for the New York Jets, dude. Have you seen that kid play football? Breece Hall is going to be a star. We have players, finally, we have players on the Jets that I'm proud to say that Jets. These are young kids, too. Look at Sauce Gardner, bro. Sauce Gardner, hockey. He's a cover guy. He wants the football. He goes after the quarterback. Sign me up. DJ Moore. We finally got two corners. Not Revis Island, and he has to do everything, and somebody else. We have two cornerbacks that can lock down number one receivers in football, okay? We have C.J. Mose. We have a defensive lineman right now in Quinnen Williams that's unstoppable. Did you watch that football game last week? He is unstoppable right now.
Yep.
So this defense and offense are both playing really well on both sides of the ball for the New York Jets. And Zach Wilson was hurt. Zach Wilson looks like he's like a Mickey Mouse Club. He's like a handsome young kid. He's banging 50-year-old women. He's banging all his mom's friends. But he's got. Listen, I think he's a legit quarterback, and I think I think that these kids are coming in with him at a good time. They're young, right? And they're full of piss and vinegar, and they want to win. Elijah Moore, sit on the bench for the rest of the year because you're not going anywhere. They're going to make an example out of you. And you know what they're going to do? They're probably going to put Denzel Mims in for you. How's that going to sound? Another guy who was fucking bitching. All right, the 2 years can go. Okay, you got Corey Davis out there. We have some wide receivers. Corey Davis is old. I understand that, but Garrett Wilson, I'm telling you right, mark my words, Garrett Wilson's going to be a star, dude. He's going to be a star. And for Elijah Moore to stop bitching about throwing me the football, listen, Keyshawn Johnson started that shit, like I said, a bunch of years ago. He wrote a book about it. Keyshawn Johnson went on to be he went on to be a pretty good football player and kind of like a moniker when you hear, throw me the damn ball, you know who said it. But, stop being so passive aggressive and sit there and know your role. Robert Salah's got a role for you, okay? Listen to the coach, and if you don't like it, you know where to go. Okay, that's all. Elijah Moore could go. But you know what? Back to the Jets. We're talking about the Jets. I am very excited. I really am. I'm very excited about the Jets this year because of the fact that I haven't seen young talent like this in a long time. We have Jeremiah Johnson, too. He's he's injured right now, but he I don't know. I'm pretty excited about the Jets. I actually think I think the Jets are gonna win big this weekend. I really, I'm picking them to win big, but I just, whatever. They're playing
not big. Rich, remember they're playing Denver, so it's gonna be like a 14-11 game or something like that, right?
Now think about this for a second, though. The one thing that does worry me about that is, I always equate. I love, I'm a baseball guy.
Of course.
I'm gonna equate them right now to. I'm gonna equate them now to my New York Mets.
Okay.
The reason I'm gonna say that is because the New York Mets offense, right? Mm-hmm. Their offense never comes in scores for Jacob deGrom is the Denver Broncos defense. if you can equate.
That's a great analogy, yeah.
Never hit for the guy. Now, I think that's what's happening now. What's going on with Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson was an elite quarterback. He's got the number 2 or 3 defense in football right now. Those guys are running all over the place for that offense, just for them to come out, run them out, 4 plays, punt. Run them out, 4 plays, punt. That's got to be stressful for the Denver Broncos defense, dude. They're in there killing it. And Russell Wilson, it's not Russell Wilson like we don't know if this guy's a good quarterback. Russell Wilson was at a Super Bowl. I mean, and what's Judy's a good player, right? I know they lost the running back, but you're Russell Wilson. You're supposed to make shit happen. What was somebody hurt your feelings? I don't know. Listen, I'm glad like they're playing the Denver Broncos this week. I'm glad he's playing like shit. But listen, I just hope I hope it's not that this is the time, when he's going to take to have his his game or whatever, but I just don't see it happening. You look in his eyes. He doesn't look like he wants to be there. He doesn't look like he wants to play. His games are 12-9. They're baseball scores. I want to watch baseball. I watch the playoffs. They gotta, Russell Wilson, maybe he lost it. Maybe he's scared. Maybe he just wants to hang out and bang his hot wife. I don't know. Then retire and let somebody else do it. But you're embarrassing yourself, Russell Wilson. You're embarrassing yourself. I mean, it's
the coach, Rich. I think it's also the coach, Nathaniel Hackett. The guy's he's a clueless jerk with his time management and everything. So I think it's the coaching as well.
Oh, didn't he make a dumb mistake a couple of weeks ago?
He made a bunch of dumb mistakes. He couldn't. He had timeouts left. He didn't call timeouts. He got delay of games. He opted for field goals. And then he loses he didn't call timeout again. They lost the field goal. They had a punt. There was a bunch of mistakes this guy made. He's not a head coach, this guy. And Denver's only scored 91 points in 6 games. I mean, they're not even scoring any points. That's what I said. The Jets are going to probably win like 8-7 or something like that this weekend.
No, the Jets are going to score points, dude. The Jets are going to score points. The only reason why I say it is because they have it. They have it on the wide receiver position, and then they have it on the running back position. I mean, look, I understand. I think I read the Denver Broncos defense is top 5 in both against the rush and against the pass.
Yep.
But listen, Breece Hall's running the football real well. You got two electric wide receivers. Listen, Zach Wilson could run too, man. If he's in a little bit of a predicament, he could run.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Jets are going to win this game this weekend. And if they don't, I mean, I just don't want this game to be Russell Wilson's breakout game because Russell Wilson, you're making a mockery of football right now, bro. You're not new to the game. You're in Denver. Denver's a pretty good franchise. They got you for a reason. They got you because maybe they thought you were going to be Peyton Manning. You're not Peyton Manning. You got to do something. You're embarrassing yourself. That's my take on the Jets. The Jets surprised me this year, man. I really didn't think that they were. I didn't think they were going to be 4-2. Chiefs win the game last week. They're tied for first place.
Yep.
If Josh Allen isn't, if Josh Allen isn't do what he always does and be the greatest football player on the planet right now next to Pat Mahomes, they lose that game. It's a new ball game. The Jets are tied for first place with the Buffalo Bills. Holy shit! I never thought that was going to happen, dude. Never thought that was going to happen.
One story about the Jets Broncos, Rich, 30 years ago. Somebody just got tossed from the Padres game, it looks like, in the ninth inning. Wow. Phillies are winning one out in the ninth. It looks like a bunch of stuff going on. But 30 years ago, I went out to Denver to see the Jets play the Broncos, and unfortunately, it was the last game that Al Toon would ever play. He got laid out, and that was just...
Hold on a second. Did you see why he got thrown out of the game?
I did. I had my eye on my computer, Rich. I wasn't looking at the screen. Was it a...
Strike?
Wow.
The strike was... Wow. Bob Melvin is pissed, and he should be, dude. He should be. Look at this. Oh, my God.
Let's see this.
Terrible call, dude. Just look at this for 1 second if they go back to it. He knows he made a bad call there.
Wow.
He punched him out on that call. That's wrong, dude. That's wrong. It's the playoffs, man. Profile got screwed. Bob Melvin is heated right now. Even though
I could see. Yeah. Wow.
He watch. Here it is. Watch it. Look at that.
Whoa. Wow.
No, he didn't go. That's not a strike.
It's not a strike, right?
He went?
Yeah.
No, he didn't go. The Padres got screwed right there.
Is that Angel Hernandez behind the plate?
I'm sorry. I'm going to go. We had jump out. You said something about the Jets and the Broncos. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So 30 years ago, I went out to Denver to see a Jets-Broncos game, and it was the last game that Al Toon would ever play. He got laid out of the field. I think that was his last concussion, and it's a good thing he escaped. He was a great player, though, Al Toon. Very respected wide receiver in the Jets Ring of Honor and stuff, and really tough break he had.
Eric, he's one of my all-time favorite Jets. When I was a kid, I had an 88 jersey all the time. I loved Al Toon. I loved watching Al Toon spin around in the air, getting hit by the Dolphins. I loved watching Al Toon and Wesley Walker run up yards with Ken O'Brien and Richard.
And Wesley Walker had a glass eye, right? He only had one eye, Wesley Walker, I believe.
One-eyed Wesley. Wesley caught everything with that one eye.
Yeah, remember those guys? Yeah, Pat Leahy, the kicker at Chase Stadium. Remember that, Rich? Those were the old Jets, right, back then?
Raymond McNeil. Come on, man.
Richard Todd, right?
Shula. Come on. Well, these are Al Toon. I used to love Al Toon, man. It was oh my God. I remember I got an Al Toon jersey for my birthday. A long time ago. I forgot what it was. But I never took it off, man. I wore it all the time. I wore it in the street when I was playing football. I wore it to bed. He's one of my all-time favorite players. Wow.
Yeah, he was a good player. Yeah, shame he had to retire so young, though. With all those concussions. But thankfully, he's doing okay today. But a lot of these other players, look at Tua. Do you know what Tua said, Rich? Tua said he didn't realize he was getting taken to the hospital. Do you believe that?
And he's playing this weekend, dude.
Yeah.
You know that? He's playing this weekend.
Crazy.
I don't. If he gets hit the right way, his career is going to be over, bro.
Unreal, right?
Listen, I know you want to. I know you want.
Not Rich career. How about life, though?
That's what I mean, man. He's going to be. He's not going to be. I don't know. That was bad, and that was really bad. Like when his fingers. Yes, he is, man. Tua is done, man. When his fingers clenched up like that.
Yeah,
that was a sad sight, man. And he's a nice kid too, man. If you listen to him, he's not saying the wrong thing about the organization. Mm-hmm. He's not saying it's they're making the decisions. He's just he's a nice kid too. And unfortunately, if he gets hit the right way, who are they playing the Dolphins this weekend? They're playing the Steelers.
Dolphins. They are playing the Steelers. Yeah, it's Minka Fitzpatrick's homecoming game. Rich, he's going against his former team. Yeah. So what happened?
You know what? That's going to make a Fitzpatrick charge. What if he runs up that line and smashes Tua on a clean hit?
Crazy.
I don't know.
The Phillies won, Rich. The Phillies take the commanding lead 2-1. They could They still have to win 2 more games, but they're all at home these 2 games, so we'll see what happens. But what was I going to say? Did you see Naheem Himes in the Colts Broncos game? That was like the first play of the game, and he got knocked down. He got up, and all of a sudden he falls down. He looked like he was drunk or something. Another concussion, though. These guys are getting smacked around and stuff. I wonder if they need to take a look at the equipment again. These guys, it seems like modern. It's very common now, these injuries. It seems.
I think they all need to start smoking weed to repair their brain cells. That's what I think they need to do.
Yeah, right? Unbelievable.
Cures everything. So what's the other? What else we got going on in football here? We got the Bears and the Patriots. That's an game.
Well, we got our picks to do.
Last night's game. Let me. I just want to say one thing about last night's game. Okay, Cardinals are 3. Actually, they're 4-3 right now. I think with the win last night. I have to look, but I think they're 4-3 with the win last night.
Yep.
The Cardinals last night just got better. Now, when I say they got better, DeAndre Hopkins was missing, dude. Okay, now DeAndre Hopkins is the top 5 wide receiver in football. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah.
He had 110 yards last night, dude. Now with
his
him
first game back, right?
With him coming back, Kyler Murray said a couple of things last couple of weeks that pissed me off. He's very kind of selfish, but now he's got DeAndre Hopkins. He's got his boy, to throw the ball to. Robbie Anderson from the Jets, and an old Jet from the Panthers.
Yep.
I mean, Connor's got to come back. So I have to think that the Cardinals are going to be a little
Zach Ertz too, right? Zach Ertz, they got some players. The Cardinals, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean they had three. Listen, I know what's his name was not the best quarterback in the world, but they had 3 interceptions last night. I think in the game last night. I think the Cardinals season is kind of going to take off a little bit. Listen, I'm not gonna. They're not going to be just like a team that's like kind of there. I think with DeAndre Hopkins coming back, I think they're going to be. This division right there is. Let me get the that division is. That's all 3-3, right? I think every single team in that division is 3-3.
Yeah, I think that division's pretty tight. Yeah, the Rams have definitely fallen on hard times this year. It seems.
What do you think? What's going on with them? Do you think Stafford just said, he put everything that he had in his career into last year's Super Bowl? Or
I think he's got that. He's got that bad elbow, Rich. The Cardinals are 3-4, Rich. They played the extra game. They didn't have the other teams. Looks like it's 7 games, so they're 3-4. The other teams are 3-3. But yeah, the Rams. It looks like Stafford had that elbow injury, so maybe it really is hurt this year.
I don't know. I don't know. I just think that he's so good, that kid, though. He really is. He really is.
Definitely.
Yeah, you're right. Here it is. Yeah. They are okay. Yeah, they're no, wait a second. Yeah, they're 3-4. Okay. Yes, yeah, right. Yeah, you got the Niners, you got the Rams, you got the Seahawks, all 3-3. Now the Cardinals are 3-4. Now, if you look at that lineup, look at this team, the Seahawks. Now, I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to say. As a matter of fact, I kind of wish the kid well. What's his name over there? Geno Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Geno Smith is actually looking like a quarterback over there in Seattle. I mean, he's throwing touchdown passes and. I don't know. Are they going to win the division? If they win the division,
Imagine.
And plus, they're missing Penny's out. Rashad Penny's out, but that new running back they got there is pretty good.
And there's one other team, Rich, the Minnesota Vikings, 5-1.
Are they 5-1 though?
Yeah, yeah.
I know they are. I know they are, but I don't know. I guess so. Justin Jefferson, that kid's Kirk Cousins is keeping him in the game.
Kirk Cousins? Remember what I said about Kirk Cousins, Rich? He doesn't show up in the playoffs. I mean, if this team goes into the playoffs with the number 1 seed,